Hey, good morning, everybody. And it is a beautiful morning. It's only 11 degrees. And it's going to warm up to, what is it, around 30 degrees, something like that. But we'll take it and run with it. Glad you could join us on Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU FM 90.7 and also on YouTube. Good to see everybody on YouTube, including a warm welcome to a new subscriber, Gene Mitchell. Gene, good morning to you, as well as Kurt and Megan Brettlinger and so many other people around the country, and who knows, around the world for that matter.
Maybe.
And say hello to Terry Chamberlain. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning.
Mm-hmm. Bad hair day?
Yep.
What great hat day.
Yeah. Well, you can. She admitted now, and we're not picking on her, that if she wears her head, and she does wear her head.
I do wear my head.
The last thing you want to do is separate the two, although it can happen. And Tyrus, Kileon, we're going according to as they arrived on the scene.
Okay.
Wait a minute now, we slid in at the same time.
And did you slid in or did you slud in?
That's right.
Yeah. And Dave Pohls, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Everybody. You know, about the time when you think, hey, we've got a breakthrough in the weather. Of course, I don't believe in that crap about the groundhog. Yeah, you know, that was fun when it lasted, but we run that, pardon the expression, into the ground.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah. But then the next thing you know, here it is, 11 degrees. We just can't seem to forget or get over it, Roger, the low overnight temperatures. Now, I will say this, it doesn't feel like 11.
It does not.
Maybe
Well, after last week,
12.
we were conditioned. Thanks, Smalley.
Yeah. Well, we have a quiz this morning, and lots of people we're going to talk to. The big story, and Channel 31 really blew it. They had it as story number 5 after the city council. I'm talking about Channel 31. They had it the 5th story. This is a big story involving Peoria and East Peoria. And I'm not saying it's going to get nasty, but the potential is there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, East Peoria doesn't want to lose one of its biggest, largest economic booster with the riverboat. And according to city Peoria officials, the 1991 agreement says if they do a land-based casino, it is to be in Peoria.
If they build it, they will come.
And they certainly will.
Yes.
And so, you know, East Peoria and Boyd Gaming seem to feel like if they run toilet water underneath the casino, they meet the letter of the agreement. And I think anybody who has half a brain knows they're cheating. That's you know, and you don't cheat in gambling. If you do, you go to jail.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to bet, Tyrus, you've never gambled in your life. Have you ever played poker for money? For money now, not for funsy. Maybe war. Did you play war when you were?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I played that. That's a good family game.
Go fish.
Good family game.
Yeah, and that ends with one brother throwing cards at the other brother.
But so can
Or
Uno.
war.
Pretty nasty.
The old maid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I don't really like gambling too much, or wasting
you look
money
like
on
a clean
machines and all that.
kid.
Yeah.
Works hard for your bucks, and you don't want to lose it at the
No.
craps table.
No.
Or But you said you did play craps, didn't you, Terry? Essentially, tell me how craps is played. I know you play with 2 dice.
You throw the dice.
And you throw the dice.
And you set what's called the mark. So let's say I throw and I get an 8.
Okay,
right, now,
a 5 and a 3.
Yeah, 5 and a 3.
Or a 6 and a 2.
Or 2 4s.
Yes.
Anyway, you have to then you keep rolling, and you have to roll an 8 again before you roll a 7. Because a 7, then it comes to an end.
The game's over and you win if you throw a 7?
No, you lose.
Oh.
But if you can throw
Why
another,
do they say 7 come 11?
well, that's on the first throw, and if you call it before the dice are rolled, then you win.
Okay, so if you call what you
You
think
go
you're
yo
gonna roll.
11, and somebody rolls 11, then yeah, you win on that one. And I
With
did
someone else,
once.
you did?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, you can't be
Well, how
rolling it.
much
Somebody
do you-
else has to be rolling it.
You know, well, how do you bet when you're playing craps? You say, okay, I'm going to put $5 down that I'm going to win.
You can put $5. There's things around the side you can bet the bar, or you can actually bet on the specific number. It's been so long since I played. But
Sounds like you knew what you were doing, though.
I did at the time, yes, but that's been 20 years ago. So
Today's lesson, don't gamble with Terry.
Yeah.
No, probably not.
Did you do it at the riverboat, or did you do it at Club Peoria or something like that?
The riverboat.
The riverboat.
The boat?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, you hear so many stories about people lose their houses, lose their families, lose their wives, and in addition to their money.
Yeah.
and in the end, well, this is going to be, and we're covering it this morning more exclusively than anybody, radio or TV. We've got Alex Carmona, who voted against the deal, coming on the program. Former councilman Chuck Grayeb will join us as well to give his thoughts. And, of course, we'll ask a guy that knows more about attorneys and court cases than anybody in Peoria. Kevin Sullivan will join us as well. So in addition to that, Dr. Gene Sidler will give his analysis of the Bradley win that was kind of too close for comfort last night. Do you know Valpo, which had, I think came into the game at 10-10, scored as many points in the second half as Bradley did. That was in this, and this is a team that's down near the bottom of the Missouri Valley League. So,
and they've already beat them pretty good before. So
yeah, no, you're right. And of course, Tyrus will give you the details about that and some other sports stories. In the meantime, let's do what we did: bring you the most exclusive and more news more often right here on Breakfast with Roger and Friends. Let's start with the weather this morning, brought to you by Spoon River Home Health. Fine folks making a difference in the lives of their clients. They've been around helping people since 1993 with a comprehensive range of home health services, from skilled nursing to bathing and personal care. They do it, and they do it well. Your choice matters at Spoon River Home Health. You can reach them today at 309-245-0723. What about the weather? Let's hear it from Dave Pohls.
Well, today it's going to be mostly sunny, a high of 29 degrees. Tonight, cloudy and cold, though, back down to that 16, so the freezer door is open tonight. Tomorrow, cloudy and 36. Oh, my goodness, that's probably the first day in, 12 days we've been above freezing. Friday, sunny and a high of, get this, 44 degrees.
We'll take it.
We will take it. Saturday, sunny and 36. And now, currently, it's a heat wave. We're up to 13 degrees.
Well,
Hey.
see, as soon as we come on, things warm up
Well, that's
in
it.
the area. For investment questions and information, consider Bob Manning of the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley in Peoria. Bob, a senior vice president, has been in the investment advisory field now for more than 27 years. His telephone number, 309-671-4653. Morgan Stanley, Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. Now let's get into the award-winning news with Terry.
Well, the top story this morning is the same as we reported yesterday. City Manager Patrick Urick and Mayor Rita Ali's recommended settlement agreement with East Peoria's Paradise Riverboat failed to pass due to a 5-5 tie vote. Opposing members John Kelly, Alex Carmona, Tim Rickenbach, Zach Euler, and Kieran Velpula said no deal. They argued the initial agreement calls for any land-based casino to be constructed in Peoria.
Those who supported the settlement agreement worried the issue could be tied up in the courts for 4 or 5 years and Peoria could lose and get nothing. The battle may not be over. Councilman Dennis Sear failed to attend the special meeting, and a consenting member can bring the question up for reconsideration.
Tomorrow, the Illinois Gaming Board will consider the proposed $160 million land-based casino at their meeting in Chicago. Boyd Gaming seeks to skirt the requirement in the original contract that stipulates the casino is supposed to be in the Illinois River or sitting above or in water, as it is with the riverboat. So, Boyd plans to develop a water basin under the gambling joint.
Peoria attorneys have filed a lawsuit to block the Thursday vote by the Gaming Board for now. We'll talk about the controversy between the two cities with 2nd District Representative Alex Carmona at 6:30, Peoria Attorney Kevin Sullivan at 7:30, and former City Councilman Chuck Grayeb at 8:15.
Officials at School District 150 announced that Peoria High basketball coach Danny Ruffin has been placed on unpaid leave after he was arrested for allegedly soliciting a 16-year-old female student at Central. At last report, Ruffin was taken to county jail.
A nasty crash involving a Peoria police car yesterday morning at the intersection of Monroe and Lafayette sent drivers of both vehicles to local hospitals with non-life-threatening injuries. So far, no tickets issued.
Turning to national news, President Trump has signed legislation ending the partial government shutdown. The $1.2 trillion, that's with a T, funding bill supports government agencies until September. The measure passed in the House narrowly, 217 to 214. A few Republicans joined with Democrats to try and defeat the bill and continue the shutdown.
The Department of Homeland Security is on financial life support for only 2 more weeks. Republicans and Democrats will try to reach an agreement to keep the department, and especially the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, fully funded. A number of radical Democrats are calling for closure of ICE, which has operated without opposition in most states except for Minnesota and Oregon.
Authorities in Tucson, Arizona continue the search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, mother of NBC TV host Savannah Guthrie. The elderly woman was kidnapped from her home last Saturday evening and has not been seen since. There is a report a supposed ransom note has surfaced. President Trump said he was reaching out to daughter Savannah to offer federal assistance. That's the news, right?
And that's the news. And now we have more news brought to you by Kyle Varnold, providing personal and business insurance for auto, home, life, and health. Kyle works with multiple carriers in the industry to find tailored policies for individuals, families, and businesses, at the same time building relationships with personalized service. Kyle is available at 309-682-0519. Now more news from WCBU.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Ben Howell. The Peoria City Council has rejected a proposed settlement that would allow a planned $160 million redevelopment of the Paradise Casino property to proceed uncontested. The agreement failed on a 5-5 vote with 1 absence. Those opposed wanted the city to hold firm on a 1991 intergovernmental agreement requiring any land-based casino to be built in Peoria. Alex Carmona says he doesn't want Peoria getting shortchanged.
I don't want this to be litigated, like all of us. But I think it's important for us to stand up and to get more out of this deal than what we're getting now.
The agreement would have seen Boyd Gaming pay the city an estimated $1.8 million annually. A Peoria high school coach has been arrested for alleged solicitation of a minor by a school employee. 41-year-old Daniel Ruffin was interviewed and arrested yesterday after Peoria Police Department officers say they observed a text on a 16-year-old female student's phone and determined them to be inappropriate in nature. Ruffin is the head boys basketball coach at Peoria High. The Peoria native was also a standout player on the Bradley men's basketball team in the mid-2000s. Peoria Public Schools has not responded to WCBU's request for comment. The Peoria County Sheriff's Office says the deputy shot multiple times during a weekend traffic stop has a long road to recovery. The department says in a news release that 24-year-old Jack Evans was shot in both his legs and torso on Saturday. He joined the Sheriff's Office in 2023. The Sheriff's Office says Evans is in good spirits and remains under medical care. The Peoria Police Department is conducting the investigation. And Central Illinois Congressman Eric Sorensen says he doesn't think justice will be served in the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein. The Justice Department says it has released the last files it plans to release linked to the convicted sex offender.
Do I have faith that the folks, the powers that be, are going to be held responsible that are going to feel the justice of the law. Not right now, but that means that we're not going to let up.
Sorensen says it made him sick to review Epstein files that had disappeared from the Department of Justice website. I'm Ben Howell.
And more news from Democratic headquarters of Eric Sorensen on WCBU. In the meantime, we turn to the Independent Sports Report with the guy, the Princeville Prince, ladies and gentlemen, one and only Tyrus Kileon. Good morning, Tyrus.
Thank you, Roger. Let's start with some Bradley basketball. Bradley basketball is 16-8 after beating Valsparo 72-65 yesterday. The next game is Friday versus UNI at 7 p.m. It is an away game. The Bradley girls basketball are 14-8 after losing to Illinois State 58-54 in overtime. They play tomorrow versus Northern Iowa at 6 p.m. It is a home game. Other news, Illinois basketball, they are 19-3 and kind of red hot, honestly, after beating Nebraska 78-69. Next game is tonight versus Northwestern at 8 p.m. at home. Illinois girls basketball, they are 16-6 and coming off a win versus Washington 75-66. They play tonight versus Oregon at 8 p.m. It is an away game. Look at that, both Illinois girls and boys doing well.
Doing well, aren't they?
Yeah. The Super Bowl is still set at 5:30 p.m. on this Sunday. Patriots and Seahawks. NFL news: John Harbaugh and the Giants hired Matt Nagy to be their offensive coordinator. That's former Bears coach from that good year in 2018. The only one, really, besides this year.
Was that a good year?
Yeah, from the in 2018, yeah. New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft will not be selected into the Pro Football Hall of Fame for this year. Darn. Some Bears news. While Arlington Heights is the preferred destination for the Bears' new stadium, there could be a decision to move to Northwest Indiana at the end of February or early March. So
are they still talking about Gary?
That's
Indiana?
what. Yeah, that's what that is.
That is a terrible. Have you been to Gary, Indiana? It's the pits. I mean, you're going from the outer drive of Chicago, Illinois, to Gary, Indiana. Was that from
The Music Man.
Music Man?
Yeah. So it's. I mean, technically, it's closer than Arlington.
Well, who cares?
From Chicago, but
closer to what?
Just Chicago in general.
Okay.
But I think they're just trying to get some leverage on Illinois and Chicago because, they're playing hardball, and, if they want to keep doing that, then they'll go to Gary, Indiana. Because Gary, Indiana is going to give them kind of whatever they want, honestly. They're like, yeah, sure. Bring that business over here. So we'll see what happens there.
Well, it's not unprecedented. Look at New York.
Yeah.
And New Jersey. So.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
See?
You're right, Senator. That's a good point.
Oh, Senator.
So it very well could happen, honestly. The 2026 NFL Pro Bowl games was last night, but it's all right. Whatever. The NFC won today, beating the AFC 66-52 in that, flag football game. Bears defensive backs Kevin Byard and Nashawn Wright both had interceptions in the game. So, yeah, there you go.
Well, what are you betting? What are you betting?
For which one?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, the game?
Yes.
Probably the Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
How about you, Dave?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Seahawks.
How about you, Terry?
Seahawks.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Roger? Seahawks.
Those Seabirds. Yeah.
Seabirds.
NHL news: the Blackhawks are 22-25-9 after beating the Sharks 6-3. They play the Columbus Blue Jackets at 6 p.m. tonight. St. Louis Blues, who are 27-9, lost to the Predators 6-5 in a collapsing fashion, giving up 3 goals in the third period. They move on to the Dallas Stars tonight at 8:30. So they gave up 3 goals in that last period. They were.
Have you ever been to a Blackhawk or Blue game?
Oh, I did.
You did.
And I did
Good
it.
for you.
Yeah.
How about the
I've been to a Blues
Rivermen?
Yeah.
Good.
I've been to actually a couple this year.
Good. Have you really?
Yeah, they've
They're looking good.
yeah, they
A
played
little
well.
shaky start, but last time I checked, or was reported by Mike yesterday, the Rivermen had a 10-point lead.
Oh,
which
wow.
is significant
Oh yeah,
in the.
they got a young kid on there that's he's pretty skilled for
Connor Bernard, is it?
for the Rivermen.
Yeah.
Shoot, I can't think of that.
Well,
kid's
that's
name
all right.
anymore. But they've won every time that I've gone. So
Well, keep going.
yeah,
We know the good luck charm now.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. There he is, Kyle.
In the NBA, the Chicago Bulls are 24-27, coming off a loss against the Bucks. In that loss, Modest Buzelis became the first player in franchise history and the 17th player all time to have 5 blocks and 5 threes in the same game. They play tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. versus the Toronto Raptors, and we will see how different they look because they have already started to tear it down.
Mm-hmm.
They traded center Nikola Vucevic and a second-round pick to the Celtics, and wing Kevin Huerter and newly acquired Dario Saric to the Pistons. The Bulls got back Anthony Simons, a second-round pick from the Celtics, Jay Ivey from the Pistons, and Mike Conley from the Grizzlies. And the Grizzlies also swapped protected first-round picks with the Pistons, so they didn't really.
Whoopee.
Yeah, they didn't really get much in that trade, and we'll see what the Bulls do, and I don't think Mike Conley's going to stay around, so. But other NBA news, a couple of All-Stars get swapped for each other. James Harden gets traded from the Clippers to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Cavs traded guard Darius Garland. And they're both 10 years apart in age, so, I mean, we'll see. Could be good for the Cavs, could not be. We'll see if it works out. MLB news, the Cardinals traded utility man Brendan Donovan in a 3-team deal that will send him to the Seattle Mariners, and the Rays, who are the third team in this deal, get Ben Williamson, an infielder, and, he plays pretty good third base, but I don't know if there's too much pop there, but the Cardinals got back a 22-year-old, formerly ambidextrous pitcher, Gerangelo Sagente. He's a lefty-righty. He's going to focus more on throwing righty, but he's going to do still some bullpens like lefty to keep it going. But so that's a fun prospect there. And then they got 20-year-old Ty Pete from the Mariners, and then 24-year-old outfielder Colton Ledbetter from the Rays. And they also got the number 68 pick and 72 picks in this year's upcoming draft. And that's our sports report. Now back to you guys.
Okay, as always,
That's a lot.
good detailed sports report. See if you remember
Gary,
this.
Indiana.
What a wonderful name.
Oh, yeah.
Named for Albert Gary of judiciary fame. Gary, Indiana, as a Shakespeare would say, trips along softly on the tongue this way. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana. Let me say it once again. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana. That's the town that knew me when. Now, if you'd like to have a logical explanation,
Robert Preston.
how I have
Young
to on
Robert
this
Preston.
elegant
Young
syncopation, I will say without a moment of hesitation, there is just one place that can light my face. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, not Louisiana, Paris, France, New York, or Rome, but Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, my home, sweet home.
I wonder if we could have a song like that for Peoria, Indiana. Peoria, Indiana.
Yeah, there is a song about Peoria.
Peoria. Is it really?
I remember
Yeah,
singing it, but I don't know the, I don't know
yeah.
the whole-
Really?
Yeah, there is actually a Peoria song.
Oh, we might have to
Yes,
find it.
there is. At any rate, welcome. Following our news block, we're going into an update of the headlines here in a couple of minutes, but so happy you could join us on this beautiful but cold Wednesday, February 4th morning. You said 13 degrees.
We are at
So we've
13
warmed
and
up just
climbing.
so, yeah. We started out at 11. By golly, we've already added a couple of degrees. We're going to get up around 30 today. I thought yesterday's high exceeded the forecast.
It felt
I thought
warmer.
by the afternoon.
I thought I heard that we did get above freezing yesterday.
yeah.
I thought I heard 35 maybe.
Yeah.
It was a chilly high.
Well, yeah, it was, but it was a pleasant high.
Very
For
much
one
so.
thing, the
Yeah,
sun
but
was
yes.
out, and
Yeah.
that always makes you feel like you're a little warmer than usual. We will be talking to Alex Carmona here very shortly, but we'll remind you Wednesday is a quiz day, and we have 20 questions from the quizmaster, Phil Salzer, and I think all of you will have a good time. The questions are pretty much about precedents.
Oh, presidents or precedents?
President.
Yeah, so we've heard this one before.
And the first question you can think about, what president signed an amnesty bill restoring citizenship to Jefferson Davis? So you think, don't answer, but that'll
Oh,
be,
that was a hint.
was a tease question for you to think about.
We're in the
Jefferson's
So when we're not watching you, you can look it up on your cell phone
the
to
Confederate
see
leader.
what is the answer.
I'm just checking the weather forecast.
Actually, Miles Morales' dad's name.
It is, and one of the things that we'll talk about to one extent or another is the attention being made for the mother of Savannah Guthrie, the TV host on NBC, and they've got all kinds of police agencies, and I thought, you know what, ICE has gotten a bad rap thanks to the protesters and Governor Howdy Doody and Minnesota and others for that matter, and it becomes somewhat of an issue. But if ICE wanted to rebuild its reputation, they should announce we're going to help in the search. And I don't think there would be demonstrations against them if they said we're going to help them try to find Nancy Guthrie. Hey, we've got our news headlines coming up. We're going to do that. Alex has arrived on his white horse to join us, and we're looking forward to chatting with him. And I'm going to bet he has some great comments about the gambling casino, so stay tuned for that. Roger, you think you're being clever sometimes, and you're not. Just stick to the script, all right? And our news at the bottom of the hour brought to you as a service of Morton Community Banks with over 50 branches across central and northwestern Illinois, offering a full range of personal and business banking services. Hometown banks, FDIC insured, so your deposits are safe. Look for the clock tower and you'll know they have time for you. Now with the news, here's Terry.
Well, the top story this morning is City Manager Patrick Urick and Mayor Rita Ali's recommended settlement agreement with East Peoria's Paradise Riverboat did not pass the City Council. The deal failed due to a 5-5 tie vote. Opposing members John Kelly, Alex Carmona, Tim Rickenbach, Zach Euler, and Karen Valpula said no deal. They argued the initial agreement calls for any land-based casino to be constructed in Peoria, not East Peoria. Those who supported the settlement agreement worried the issue could be tied up in the courts for 4 or 5 years, and Peoria could lose and get nothing. The battle may not be over. Councilman Dennis Sear failed to attend the special meeting, and a consenting member can bring the question up for reconsideration. Tomorrow, the Illinois Gaming Board will consider the proposed $160 million land-based casino at their meeting in Chicago. Boyd Gaming seeks to skirt the requirement in the original contract that stipulates the casino is supposed to be in the Illinois River or sitting above or in water, as it is with the riverboat. So, Boyd plans to develop a water basin under the gambling joint. Peoria attorneys have filed a lawsuit to block the Thursday vote by the Gaming Board for now. We'll talk about the controversy between the two cities with 2nd District Representative Alex Carmona at 6:30, Peoria attorney Kevin Sullivan at 7:30, and former City Councilman Chuck Grayeb at 8:15. We just report, you decide.
Oh, I think that's clever.
I wonder who wrote that.
Yeah.
Officials at School District 150 announced that Peoria High basketball coach Danny Ruffin has been placed on unpaid leave after he was arrested for allegedly soliciting a 16-year-old female student at Central High. At last report, Ruffin was taken to county jail. A nasty crash involving a Peoria police car yesterday at the intersection of Monroe and Fayette sent drivers of both vehicles to local hospitals with non-life-threatening injuries. So far, no tickets have been issued.
You know, I don't know about you, but every Sunday, or the Sundays when I attend church at First Methodist, I'm at Monroe and Fayette. And what makes that dangerous is the traffic, which is one way going east. They have a large building on your right-hand side, and you have to sneak out a little bit very gradually, even when you have the light, to make sure that someone's not going to run the light. And I think that's what happened, though we don't have the details on how it happened.
Somebody probably just assumed they were going to stop.
Yeah, you're right.
Turning to national news, President Trump has signed legislation extending the partial government shutdown. The $1.2 trillion funding bill supports government agencies until September. The measure passed in the House narrowly 217 to 214. The Department of Homeland Security is on financial life support for 2 more weeks. Republicans and Democrats will try to reach an agreement to keep the department and especially the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency fully funded. A number of radical Democrats are calling for closure of ICE, which has operated without opposition in most states except Minnesota and Oregon. Authorities in Tucson, Arizona continue the search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, mother of NBC TV host Savannah Guthrie. The elderly woman was kidnapped from her home Saturday evening and has not been seen since. There was a report a supposed ransom note has surfaced. President Trump said he was reaching out to daughter Savannah to offer federal assistance. And in sports, Bradley defeated Valpo at the Civic Center last night, 72-65, in a game that was closer than it should have been. And those are the headlines,
Exciting
Roger.
game indeed. We'll get more details, not only from Tyrus, but also from Dr. Gene Sidler, 7:15 this morning. How about a check of the weather? Brought to you by Matt Wall, CPA and tax specialist with Gordon Stockman Wall. Tax time just around the corner, and now's the time to start planning. You can reach Matt Wall at 309-692-4030. And now the weather with Dave.
Well, what a balmy day ahead of us. And I say balmy, please keep your long pants on. It's not short weather yet. Today, mostly sunny, a high of 29. Tonight, cloudy and cold, getting down to 16, into the freezer tonight. Tomorrow, cloudy and a nice little rebound up to 36 degrees. Friday, sunny and a high of 44. Mark that again, 44. Those are the double digits we like. Saturday, sunny and 36, and currently we're way up to 13 degrees. We're improving as we go.
As we go along, you bet. Thanks, Dave. Well, as we mentioned, 2nd District Councilman Alex Carmona is our guest this morning. Alex, thanks for coming in early in the morning. You're an early riser, are you not?
I am. I try to be, yeah.
What do you do when you're not on the council?
A lot of kids stuff, still trying to do my own artwork to support my family and whatnot.
Are you really?
So, oh yeah.
What kind of artist are you?
Basically a wood carver. So I'll carve a block of
nice.
wood, like an image into a block of wood, and stamp it onto paper and sell my prints.
Really?
Yeah, really old
That's
school.
Fascinating.
That's nice.
That's fascinating. When did you start doing that? Last week or 10 years ago?
Yeah, I've been doing it now for over 15 years.
Yeah,
yeah,
you
and
should have brought something in and put on YouTube to let people see your work.
next time.
Yeah, as an example, give me an idea, give us an idea of what you designed.
Well, one of my favorite projects, actually clients, is Fender guitars. So they'll send me a guitar body. I'll carve the top of it, and then make prints off of the actual body. Then I send the body back to the Fender custom shop, and they turn it into an actual playable guitar and sell it to collectors from all over the world.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
What inspired you to get it? You know, that's kind of an unusual trade or occupation or hobby or whatever. What inspired you to do this type of work?
Well, I was in art school in college, and my advisor told me I should take this class. He thinks I would be good at it, so I tried it out. I had no idea what it was, and it kind of combined my love of art and woodworking together, so I kind of just stuck with it.
What are you too young to remember. I'm sure Dave might remember this.
Dave's too young?
Yes. You're too young. That sounded like
I don't
Jim
resemble
Malone.
that remark.
Yeah. But we had a woodworking class at Woodruff High School that I took. And as I recall, I made a little shelf that my mom put on the wall to make me feel good. Did you actually do they still do woodworking in schools today?
Well, I'll let you know that back in Colorado where I went to school, they had a woodworking shop, but I actually never took it. No, I just kind of learned it all on my own at home.
Yeah. Well, you're learning on the go that running for council can become controversial, and this is a controversial issue between Peoria and East Peoria. Essentially, give us your perspective on what the argument about, what the legal ramifications are, and your thoughts on the 5-5 tie vote. And we'll follow it up, if you don't mind, with about 18 other questions.
Yeah, no kidding. Thanks. Well, my basic argument against this is that, we argue, or contracts are put in place for a reason. We had an agreement, obviously, with East Peoria, but this agenda item had solely to do only with Boyd Gaming, had nothing to do with East Peoria. And the reason was they wanted to have a settlement with us because what they are calling their modernization of a riverboat is truly just a building with what they call a water basin under it. Now, what they mean by that is a big 1,000-gallon tank with water in it that has tubes that runs to the Illinois River. And so we don't appreciate the fact that the law is being basically weaponized and manipulated in order to justify them calling this thing a riverboat. But we all know that it's not. For those of us who voted against it, it's solely on principle because we know that we're right. And this was a very simple agreement that you can go and read. I mean, the agreement's like 8 pages long, very easy to read and very clear. And so we're just standing up for the city of Peoria, and because we know that it is the right thing to do and that the people expect us to stand up for them.
I know one of the things that the city of Peoria is doing after the tie vote is file a lawsuit to try to stop the Illinois Gaming Board from voting approval of the proposal they have submitted. And is it going to be one of those lawsuits that's going to get a quick answer from the court? And is the court a court in Peoria County or Tazewell County?
I believe the court is going to be in Chicago. It's actually,
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe
because
so.
It deals with the Chicago-based, land-based Illinois Gaming Board. Okay.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, there are definitely risks to this that we all understand. We are trying to avoid litigation if possible, but I mean, at this point, I think we might be past that, and it is unfortunate. We're still willing to talk to Boyd and come to a better agreement, and because we don't want to make any enemies in this whole thing, but like I said, we're just trying to do what we know is right.
If Peoria would prevail, and they say, you're skirting the law, you're bending the law, whatever Boyd is doing, and I might remind everybody, Boyd does have deep pockets, and Peoria doesn't. Would it then mean that if Boyd would be required to build their new land-based casino in Peoria, as Peoria believes it, what percentage of income from that would go to the city of East Peoria as the agreement exists today? We do get money from the casino today.
Yeah, right now we split half and half with East Peoria, and if it were to come here to Peoria, it would be exactly the same.
50-50.
But we would be able to take advantage of all the things that East Peoria has been able to take advantage of since this agreement was set, because there's all these secondhand things that they've been able to get through these different types of amusement taxes, the alcohol, and all these different things that come with the growth and the things that will surround a casino naturally because of the people that go and gamble there. So
Okay, I have a could be a dumb question, but what's wrong with the current setup? Are they saying the boat's aging out and that they don't want to upgrade, fix the boat?
I think that the Illinois Gaming Board wants Boyd to make a bigger investment the way, the Hard Rock in Rockford, they wanted the same from them. So I think it's a combination of what you say, that it is, they do want to modernize it and obviously make it bigger so they can allow for more gaming room. So yeah, I think it's a combination of both.
Okay.
Yeah, we may be getting ahead of ourselves, but let's say Peoria is going to prevail. Has there been any thought about where the land-based casino would be in Peoria if we do prevail?
Yeah, a lot of people keep talking about the downtown area, but this is still up for discussion. We've also talked about the Northwoods Mall area and creating a TIF district around that, because if it gets put in place there, and it can hopefully raise the the tax increment for the whole area and help fuel development there, basically, because right now it needs some help.
Okay. Now we're really going to put you in the hot seat on this one. What's the story on Dennis Sear? He did not show up, and he. Do you know how he would have voted or could vote? And it is possible for a vote for reconsideration, is it not?
Dennis Sear is a dear friend of mine. He had to go to Atlanta. His daughters live in Atlanta, so he had some family things. But I really don't want to speak for Dennis, but I believe.
See how close a friend you become.
I do believe that Dennis would have sided with us on this. Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. It is interesting. I don't believe, though, there is a possibility that it could be reconsidered, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think you're going to go through the legal process, and I think in the end, and the little that I know, as you said in your opening monologue, that the contract is established for a reason, and that is it lays down the ground rules, and you don't bend the ground rules 20 years, 30 years later, which Boyd is attempting to do.
Yeah, they were fully aware of this contract when they took over and bought the Paradise, and so it is unfortunate, like I said, that, lawyers can be used to uphold the law, and they can be used to manipulate the law too.
Yeah.
So looking at, my question too, jumping in, Thursday's a vote, right, to yea or nay. What's next steps after that, in your opinion?
I mean,
again, not to put you on the spot.
Yeah,
put him on the spot. He's making the big bucks now.
Oh, I'm making all kinds of money off of this. No.
Carving for all of us. Be quiet, Roger. I want some of his heart.
I am.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm no lawyer, so I'll have to wait and see what happens. I mean, we really don't know what to expect to come out of how they're going to rule this.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Long process.
And as you know, Alex, even though you said it is between Boyd Gaming and the city of Peoria, but in reality it is East Peoria versus Peoria on this, because let's face it, the riverboat has been a huge economic boost to the economy in East Peoria and would do the same for Peoria, regardless of where it is, whether it's downtown or at Northwoods Mall or whatever. This is a huge attraction, as we all know. Gambling is very popular in the world, and it certainly would be a huge economic benefit to the city of Peoria if, again, it wound up in our city.
Yeah, I really would. And just to say a quick word about East Peoria, we want to be friendly with East Peoria. Yeah. We want to partner with them.
Great people.
But they're complacent in this whole thing, and in that contract it says that both parties are to act in good faith, and from the get-go it seems like they've not been honoring their end of the deal either.
Is the 5-5, normally you think the mayor would cast a deciding vote, but she has a vote, and she did vote in favor of accepting the deal. Who basically represented Peoria in negotiations with Boyd Gaming?
Well, we had our legal team from City Hall, but we also had outside legal counsel come in to help us out for this.
Did? Okay.
Yeah. And a lot of these things, I can't really say because it was any details anyway, because it was all closed session things, which is frustrating because we want to be as transparent as possible with the citizens of Peoria, but sometimes our hands are tied because we've actually been talking about this for quite some time now, but to the people it looks like it was quick just like that and it came out of nowhere.
No, I think, and we have talked about it on this program for some time, about the future of Boyd Gaming and whether or not it would continue and East Peoria become a part of Peoria. So I think the transparency has been very evident. But as you know, you go into executive session when you talk about the purchase of land for obvious reasons. That's things you don't make public. Suddenly the price of that land escalates.
Sure.
And it becomes. Any other final thoughts that you have about this or where we are in the city of Peoria as we begin the year 2026?
Yeah, this is quite a way to start the year off. None of us like controversy, but again, we would like to be friendly with both parties and uphold contracts and do whatever we can to, move Peoria forward economically. So hopefully, this will be one of the few controversies throughout the year, and we'll continue to do work to help the city.
All right. Thanks, Alex, for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
And the next time, bring in one of your woodworks. So
Will
we
do.
can see what it
Thanks.
is. Second District Councilman Alex Carmona. We'll be right back after this message.
They are our cuddlers and coworkers, purr machines and love bugs, and constant companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life so much better. When we face unexpected challenges in life, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people who love their pets and the pets who love their people, ensuring these families stay exactly where they belong, together. And you have something to offer. With an open heart and mind, there is nothing you can't do. There's no gesture too small or too big when it comes to helping. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. You can help keep pets and people together. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Today's Pet Tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little-known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. Antifreeze is the absolute toxin for all pets, and it's a concern year-round. Antifreeze is an important additive for all vehicles, but it is a highly toxic element for animals. Ingesting even a small amount of antifreeze can be fatal. It is even more dangerous because most antifreeze has a sweet taste, which attracts cats and dogs. 1 teaspoon can be fatal to a 10-pound cat, and 1 tablespoon can be fatal to a 10-pound dog. When adding the solution to vehicles, be careful that none is spilled or left where pets will have easy access. Never let your pet run unattended at your local garage or oil change station, and keep an eye out for it in parking lots. Cars often leak antifreeze when parked, and if you are walking your dog across the lot to a dog relief area, getting this on their feet is deadly because they will lick their feet to clean. I have seen antifreeze in parking lots when we are out for the day running errands with my dogs. My dogs come along for the errands knowing that we will walk them at a local park as a treat on the way home. But during the course of the errands, they need a potty break, and, well, there you have it. I once was parked next to a car that had leaked its entire radiator of antifreeze, and I had to get into my car very carefully to avoid tracking it in on my shoes. Had I not been paying attention, it could have been disastrous. So keep your eyes open. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's Pet Tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
It is Wednesday morning and time for our quiz. We're going to try to get in as many questions as we can before we have to break for the news at the top of the hour. As we teach you a little earlier, our first question, what president signed an amnesty bill restoring citizenship to Jefferson Davis?
Is it Andrew Johnson?
No. I'm going to help you out. A contemporary president did this. So you were thinking it was going back to the days of Jefferson Davis.
Bill Clinton.
Incorrect.
Joe
Tyrus?
Biden. Oh.
Joe Biden. Tyrus?
No.
Come back to me. I
Okay.
don't know.
Contemporary.
Contemporary,
How
yeah.
contemporary are we talking?
Very.
Very. Oh, our current president, Donald Trump.
Not that very.
Okay, so it's not
This
Biden,
president recently died.
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter is correct.
That makes sense.
Who was honored at the first White House dinner by a toast. It was a Frenchman, I believe.
So French toast.
Yes,
Gotcha.
yes, it was a French. Very good. From IHOP, and they're now
From the
closed.
kitchen of
Would that
IHOP.
be the Marquis de
Marquis de
Lafayette?
Lafayette.
And is a street in Peoria.
Lafayette.
Yes. Except it's Fayette, not Lafayette. But
That
you
answers
gave
the
me a
stereo, by the
yeah.
way.
All right. Presidents Jefferson, Tyler, and Nixon played what instrument?
The flute.
Incorrect. I'll help you out on this one
Clarinet.
because of the time. String instrument.
The harp.
A mandolin.
Violin.
The violin, right.
Violin.
Truman and
You got
Nixon
there,
played what?
The piano?
That is correct.
Yeah.
What did Calvin Coolidge play?
I don't know. He was silent Cal. Maybe
Yeah, he
nothing.
didn't. He said nothing.
Yeah, Cal Coolidge played. He played an instrument that Jerry Murad played with his group. M-U-R-A-D.
Jerry Brad.
Jerry Murad and the what?
Harmonicas.
Harmonica is correct, Tyrus. Nice going. Where are we? What president to be released the trapdoor of the gallows at 2 hangings?
President to be. Oh,
Yes. And he was a sheriff at the time
Andrew Jackson.
when he did it. Incorrect.
Okay.
Sheriff.
Warren G. Harding?
No.
Chester Arthur.
His last name is the name of an American League team.
Oh.
It's not an answer, as Judge Judy would say. And the initials G.C.
Grover Cleveland.
Grover Cleveland is
yep.
correct. Who wrote the words to Hail to the Chief?
Hail to the chief.
Who
Who wrote the words?
Yes, that's what I said.
George M. Cohan.
No. He's better known for writing an even bigger song.
The
Francis
Stars.
Scott Key.
Francis
there
Scott
we go.
Key is
Yep.
correct. But actually it's wrong.
No?
You didn't give the full title for his name.
Francis Scott Key. Is not the full title.
Sir
Oh, sir.
He was
Walter.
a sir. He was
Yes.
He was British.
What jelly bean flavors were Ronald Reagan's favorite? 2 of them. And one of them is my favorite, and the other one I don't like at all.
Licorice.
Licorice is correct. I love it.
Yep.
What's the other one?
Blueberry.
No.
Strawberry.
Think of one that
Orange.
you sometimes they sprinkle it on cakes.
Oh.
They sprinkle jelly beans in.
And there's a candy bar that had this ingredient in it that was one of my least favorite. Not that we care what you like, Roger, or dislike.
Caramel.
Starts with the letter C. And sometimes if you're in movies, for comedy, it would fall out of a tree and hit you in the head.
Oh, I was going to say cinnamon, but that's not.
Well, you got the letter right.
This type of tree. It's a
Coconut.
Coconut is correct.
Oh, boy.
What name was given to each of Lincoln's sons?
Robert was one of them.
That's
Tad
correct.
was another one.
Correct.
And that's where I forget the others. Tad and Robert.
One is starts with the letter E, and one of our well-known Officer Friendly has the same.
Edward?
Eddie.
Just Eddie.
And finally, the last one is the first name of a well-known rider of Kentucky Derby horses. And also the first name of one of the great San Francisco, New York Giant outfielders. Come on, Tyrus, you ought to know this. Made a famous over-the-head.
Willie.
Correct, Willie. Did you know he had a son named Willie?
I do.
Abraham Lincoln.
I'd love to mention it, yeah.
What president was the first to have a phone in the White House?
First phone would be, I'm going to go with one of our answers before. It's not Grover Cleveland, right? But we're getting close to that era.
Harrison?
No.
How about McKinley?
No.
It's earlier than that.
Taft?
No.
Okay.
I think now here's the clue, and it's an award-winning clue. Think vacuum sweepers.
Oh, Hoover. Is that long?
Yeah. I wanted to clean up the question. What presidents went by the code names?
We got swept up.
Ooh, this is great. What presidents went by the code names of Deacon and Searchlight?
Oh.
And both presidents have been named on other.
Deacon was Carter, right?
Deacon was Carter, correct.
I've seen that before. And who was the other one? Searchlight?
Yeah, Searchlight.
Was that Reagan?
No.
No, he was more Western.
He was. What was the first? He was Western.
I am not a crook.
Oh, Nixon.
Nixon, yes. Who was Ronald Reagan quoting when he said, "I forgot to duck," when he lost the fight to Tooney? And I shook hands with this man when he came to Peoria.
Was it?
Tooney should be a fighter.
Who was Ronald Reagan quoting when he said, "I forgot to duck"? When you were a little girl, what kind of a game did you play when you threw?
Jack Dempsey?
Jack Dempsey is correct.
Jack
Very
Dempsey.
well.
Oh, wow.
What president modeled winter sports wear in Look magazine for the 1938 Winter Olympics?
Well, FDR. I mean.
No.
What president did
what?
model winter wear?
I was going to say Gerald Ford.
Gerald Ford is correct. Jerry Ford, correct.
There you go.
What president installed the first bathtub in the White House?
Was it
And
Taft?
we're going back.
Taft.
Oh, way back.
Oh, way back.
Wasn't Taft? He got
No,
stuck in
he
the
had a
bathtub.
he had a special one.
He did have a
Jefferson?
special bathtub.
Yeah.
Well, the first bathtub. Let's go to
Who
Thomas
was the
Jefferson.
first one?
Apparently not.
Not Jefferson. Okay.
No.
Monroe.
No.
Madison.
It was not. No.
Are we in the right era?
I have no idea.
Buchanan.
No.
Pierce.
No.
Woodrow Wilson.
I don't, excuse me, I don't know what the clue I to give you for this president. You don't think about his name very often. And his last name starts with the letter F.
Millard Fillmore.
Millard Fillmore.
Yep.
I want to say Willard, but it is Millard, yeah. What was President Washington's shoe size And this is quite a question. Quite an answer, more importantly.
10.
Too
7.5.
Too small.
13.
13 is correct. Who was the first president to have the official residence of the White House printed on stationery?
We're
on
digging deep into these
stationery.
questions, aren't we?
Let's see. Adams was
And he was also known as a Rough Rider.
Oh, Roosevelt.
Teddy
Teddy
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt.
What
Very
scandal
good.
scarred official of the Nixon administration borrowed $4,859 from the White House bank for his honeymoon? He did pay it back.
John Mitchell.
Well, you got the right first name.
Haldeman.
A lot of people did not like
So
this guy
John-
at all, particularly Republicans.
John Adams.
What was the title that a high school administrator would have working?
Dean.
John Dean.
Dean. John Dean is
John
correct.
Dean.
And we're going over time a little bit, but we're getting near the end. What president had the first presidential library?
Oh.
His first name was the same last name of the founder of Wildlife Prairie Park.
Oh, Rutherford B. Hayes.
Right, very good.
Yep.
During what president did we admit the most states to the Union? Ooh, good question. We have a street in downtown Peoria named after him, and Cohen Furniture was on the corner.
Jefferson.
Harrison.
Yes. What's his first name?
Benjamin Harrison.
Right. Who was the first presidential nominee to give his acceptance speech in person at his party's convention?
Calvin Coolidge.
And normally we often refer to him with an acronym or initials.
FDR.
FDR. Very good. What was the name of Chelsea Clinton's cat?
Socks.
Good. I knew you, the cat woman, I knew she would
Yeah,
get.
I remember seeing
And a final question. Shortly after Eleanor Roosevelt became First Lady, who flew her to Baltimore in an evening dress? Ooh, this is a great question. Well-known
Charles Lindbergh.
female.
Oh,
Amelia Earhart.
Amelia Earhart.
That is correct.
Earhart.
Ladies and gentlemen, our panel did
Redhead.
an outstanding job.
Way to go.
All right, we have
job,
news,
Tim.
weather, sports coming up on Breakfast with Roger and Friends, also on YouTube. And we'll hear from Dr. Gene Sidler for his analysis of an exciting win for the Bradley Braves last night. Thanks for joining us on Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU FM 90.7, and as we say, also on YouTube. 13 degrees the temperature, and we have the weather coming up with Dave Balls.
Could be going
Stay
up.
tuned for
Never
that.
know.
Sports with Tyrus and news with Terry.
Second point.
Pleasant good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning. Currently, our temperature. Well, we'll let Dave give you the temperature and the weather. Brought to you this morning by Steve Sinks, certified business intermediary with PHX affiliates. Steve has been a business broker now for over 20 years and sold businesses from $25,000 to $45 million. He specializes in business valuations. He knows business, and you can learn more from Steve at 309-696-8508. Here's Dave with the weather.
Well, I'm the studio groundhog today, and I did see my shadow, so that means it's going to be mostly sunny today. A high of 29. Tonight, cloudy and cold, a low of 16. Tomorrow is going to be cloudy and 36. Friday, sunny and a high of 44. Saturday, we're climbing all the way up to 36 degrees. So what a good couple days ahead. And currently, we are still holding at 13 chilly degrees.
You got it now. The news brought to you by Sam Lilly and Associates, providing a comprehensive range of insurance products, including personal auto, home, life, and medical coverage. He specializes in Medicare plans and options, something he's been doing during his 40 years in the insurance industry. Sam knows insurance, and you can learn more from Sammy at 309-245-4374. Now with our lead story, here's Terry.
Well, the top story this morning is the same as we reported yesterday. City Manager Patrick Urick and Mayor Rita Ali's recommended settlement agreement with East Peoria's Paradise Riverboat failed to pass due to a 5-5 tie vote. Opposing members John Kelly, Alex Carmona, Tim Rickenbach, Zach Euler, and Karen Velpula said no deal. They argued the initial agreement calls for any land-based casino to be constructed in Peoria.
Those who supported the settlement agreement worried the issue could be tied up in the courts for 4 or 5 years and Peoria could lose and get nothing. The battle may not be over. Councilman Dennis Sear did not attend the special meeting, and a consenting member can bring the question up for reconsideration.
Tomorrow, the Illinois Gaming Board will consider the proposed $160 million land-based casino at their meeting in Chicago. Boyd Gaming seeks to skirt the requirement in the original contract that stipulates the casino is supposed to be in the Illinois River or sitting above or in water, as it is with a riverboat. So, Boyd plans to develop a water basin under the gambling joint.
Peoria attorneys have filed a lawsuit to block the Thursday vote by the Gaming Board for now. Now, we talked about this controversy between the two cities just last hour with 2nd District Representative Alex Carmona, and we'll be hearing more from Peoria attorney Kevin Sullivan at 7:30 and former Peoria City Councilman Chuck Grayeb at 8:15. So we report it, you decide.
Officials at School District 150 announced that Peoria High basketball coach Danny Ruffin has been placed on unpaid leave after he was arrested for allegedly soliciting a 16-year-old female student at Central High. At last report, Ruffin was taken to county jail.
A nasty crash involving a Peoria police car yesterday morning at the intersection of Monroe and Fayette Street sent drivers of both vehicles to local hospitals with non-life-threatening injuries. So far, no tickets issued.
Turning to national news, President Trump has signed legislation ending the partial government shutdown. The $1.2 trillion funding bill supports government agencies until September. The measure passed in the House narrowly, 217 to 214. A few Republicans joined with Democrats to try and defeat the bill and continue the shutdown.
The Department of Homeland Security is on financial life support for only 2 more weeks. Republicans and Democrats will try to reach an agreement to keep the department and especially the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency fully funded. A number of radical Democrats are calling for closure of ICE, which is operated without opposition in most states except for Minnesota and Oregon.
Authorities in Tucson, Arizona continue the search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, mother of NBC TV host Savannah Guthrie. The elderly woman was kidnapped from her home Saturday evening and has not been seen since. There is a report a supposed ransom note has surfaced. President Trump said he was reaching out to daughter Savannah to offer federal assistance. And those, I can't say the headlines, but that's the news.
That's the news. All right, and we get more news from WCBU, brought to you by Advanced Medical Transport, the premier provider of emergency and scheduled ambulance services in central, western, and eastern Illinois. There are more than 500 AMT employees, men and women, dedicated to offering and providing the best in healthcare. Saving lives is what they do.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Ben Howell. The Peoria City Council has rejected a proposed settlement that would allow a planned $160 million redevelopment of the Paradise Casino property to proceed uncontested. The agreement failed on a 5-5 vote with one absence. Those opposed wanted the city to hold firm on a 1991 intergovernmental agreement requiring any land-based casino to be built in Peoria. Alex Carmona says he doesn't want Peoria getting shortchanged.
I don't want this to be litigated, like all of us. But I think it's important for us to stand up and to get more out of this deal than what we're getting now.
The agreement would have seen Boyd Gaming pay the city an estimated $1.8 million annually. A Peoria high school coach has been arrested for alleged solicitation of a minor by a school employee. 41-year-old Daniel Ruffin was interviewed and arrested yesterday after Peoria Police Department officers say they observed a text on a 16-year-old female student's phone and determined them to be inappropriate in nature. Ruffin is the head boys basketball coach at Peoria High. The Peoria native was also a standout player on the Bradley men's basketball team in the mid-2000s. Peoria Public Schools has not responded to WCBU's request for comment. The Peoria County Sheriff's Office says the deputy shot multiple times during a weekend traffic stop has a long road to recovery. The department says in a news release that 24-year-old Jack Evans was shot in both his legs and torso on Saturday. He joined the Sheriff's Office in 2023. The Sheriff's Office says Evans is in good spirits and remains under medical care. The Peoria Police Department is conducting the investigation. And Central Illinois Congressman Eric Sorensen says he doesn't think justice will be served in the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein. The Justice Department says it has released the last files it plans to release linked to the convicted sex offender.
Do I have faith that the folks, the powers that be, are going to be held responsible, that are going to feel the justice of the law? Not right now, but that means that we're not going to let up.
Sorensen says it made him sick to review Epstein files that had disappeared from the Department of Justice website. I'm Ben Howell.
Hey, let's get into the world of sports. Tyrus is here with all the latest. Good morning, Tyrus.
Good morning, Roger. Thank you. Let's start with some Bradley basketball. They are 16-8 after beating Valpo 72-65 yesterday. The next game is Friday versus UNI at 7 p.m. It is an away game. Bradley girls basketball are 14-8 after losing to Illinois State 58-54 in overtime. They play tomorrow versus Northern Iowa at 6 p.m. It is a home game. Other news, Illinois basketball, they are 19-3 and red hot after beating Nebraska 78-69. The next game is tonight versus Northwestern at 8 p.m. at home. Illinois girls basketball, they are 16-6 and coming off a win versus Washington 75-66. They play tonight versus Oregon at 8 p.m. It is an away game. The Super Bowl is set. Patriots and Seahawks this Sunday at the 8th at 5:30 p.m. I mean, we got the Patriots winning that one, so we'll or no, the Seahawks. I mean, I'm kidding. But we'll see what happens there. NFL news, John Harbaugh and the Giants hired Matt Nagy to be their offensive coordinator, former Bears coach and longtime Chiefs assistant. New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft will not be selected into the Pro Football Hall of Fame for this year. Maybe a surprise to some people, but you know, we'll see. Some Bears news. While Arlington Heights is the preferred destination for the Bears' new stadium, there could be a decision to move to Northwest Indiana at the end of February or early March, which, you know, old Gary, Indiana there. The 2026 NFL Pro Bowl games, the NFC won the day, beating AFC 66-52. Kevin Byard and Nashawn Wright of the Bears both had interceptions in this game. And, you know, all the players seem to have fun, so that's probably all that matters there. NHL news, the Blackhawks are 22-25-9 after beating the Sharks 6-3. They play the Columbus Blue Jackets at 6 p.m. tonight. St. Louis Blues, who are 27-9, lost to the Predators 6-5 in a collapsing fashion, giving up 3 goals in the third period to lose. They move on to the Dallas Stars tonight at 8:30 p.m. NBA news, the Chicago Bulls are 24-27, coming off a loss against the Bucks. In that loss, Modest Buzelis became the first player in franchise history and the 17th player all-time to have 5 blocks and 5 threes in the same game. They play tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. versus the Toronto Raptors, and we will see how different they look because they have already started to tear it down. They traded center Nikola Vucevic and a second to the Celtics, and wing Kevin Huerter and newly acquired Dario Saric to the Pistons. The Bulls got back Anthony Simons and a second-round pick from the Celtics, and Jay Ivey from the Pistons, and Mike Conley from the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies also swapped like an unprotected first round pick with each other so they could basically just be seconds or just nothing in general. I mean, they just kind of salary dumped Mike Conley because they're trying to go after some big fishes. Other NBA news, a couple of All-Stars get swapped for each other. James Harden gets traded from the Clippers to the Cavaliers. And the Cavs traded guard Darius Garland to them. See what happens there. See if that was a win-win, maybe. MLB news, the Cardinals traded utility man Brendan Donovan in a 3-team deal that will send him to the Seattle Mariners. And the Rays, who are the third team in this deal, got Ben Williamson from the Mariners. And the Cardinals got back 22-year-old, formerly ambitious pitcher. He kind of still is. He's still going to throw a couple bullpens, and we'll see there. But he's mainly going to focus on being a righty. And his name is Durangelo Sagente. He's exciting.
To say.
Yeah. He's an exciting prospect, so we'll see what happens there with him. If he makes it and can carve out a good major league career. 20-year-old center fielder, infielder Ty Pete, and 24-year-old outfielder Colton Ledbetter from the Rays. And they also got the numbers 68 and 72 picks in this year's July MLB draft. And that's our sports report. Back to you guys.
Some of these guys I never heard of.
Yeah.
I don't think most fans have heard of them, but
No.
Cardinals are different anyway. But while we're number 2 of Breakfast with Roger and Friends continues. You know, we just had the quiz, as usual, with 20 questions and some pretty interesting questions. What was the question from the panel that was the most intriguing, Terry?
Who was the first one to put White House on the stationery?
I like the bathtub question.
Yeah.
Bathtub.
I like the shoe size.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted to know who Bigfoot was, it was George Washington.
Yeah.
Size
Rode a horse, too.
shoe 13. I wonder what size Dr. Gene Sidler wears. What size shoes you wear, Gene?
You know, like most people, it seems like I need larger shoes as I get older because my feet hurt. So I usually wear about a 10.5 or so.
Yeah, that's about mine.
Most of my life it was more like 9 or 9.5.
Yeah. I wear 10.5. Gene was nice enough. He ordered a couple of pairs, that brand new shoes, and he didn't like them. I don't know why he didn't like them, but he gave them to me for Christmas, and they're neat shoes. Thank you.
Yeah. I have
on behalf of my feet.
I have I have like an arthritic toe that. Some shoes bother it, some shoes don't, and you don't know until you wear them a couple of times. So that's what happens. I end up tossing out some shoes I buy.
Yeah, you gotta get the wide
I
shoes.
might add, until I started wearing them, I didn't have an arthritic toe. Now I do, so I don't know.
That's contagious, yes.
Hey, the Bradley game last night should not have been that close, and looking at the box score, Valpo scored the same number of points in the second half as Bradley did, a lousy 32 points. Was that a good game to watch, or were you uncomfortable?
Well, it was a bit of an atypical game for Bradley. It was totally unlike the game last Saturday at Drake, where Bradley had a really nice offensive flow, was hitting three-point shots consistently throughout the game, and maintained a nice big lead, and played very well from start to finish. And this one was really a bit of a struggle from the start. Coach Wardle on his post-game show was very critical of, I mean, more so even than I thought he would be, but very critical of the play of his players. Said they just didn't play the way they had practiced, that players were overly selfish, looking for their shots instead of passing more. And, you know, some of the things that coaches always find wrong with how their players play. But again, he kind of really overly stressed that they played poorly. And, you know, usually after a win, you tend to tone down some of the criticism of your team. But it did go a little bit like that. It seemed like every time Bradley made a little bit of a move to pull ahead, the Valparaiso team would come back. Now Bradley led for nearly the entire game, and near the latter 5 to 7 minutes, they did pull out to I think as much as a 14-point lead, but then Valparaiso closed it back down to 5 points inside the final couple minutes, and then it ended up as a 7-point margin there at the end. Yeah, it could have been a little better. Valparaiso, yeah, as you mentioned, they're in the lower half of the standings in the conference, but they still have played teams very closely. They just came off an overtime win on the road at Indiana State, and the game before that they lost at home to Belmont by just 1 point. Belmont, the number 1 team in the league, so they have played a number of their games very close, even in the losses that they've had, and they've got some talent. So I don't think it was a total surprise. Actually, the betting line on this game was 7.5 points, and final margin was 7 points, 72 to 65. So, even the experts who pick these games didn't expect Bradley to pull away and win by a big margin. And so I think any win, of course, is a good win. The coaches found some fault in how the team played. I'm sure they'll work on that and get that corrected before Friday night's game over in Cedar Falls, lovely Cedar Falls, Iowa.
Yes, yeah. You've been there on more than one occasion. Did you get lost getting there? I'm really out of the way unless you're going to Minnesota.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to get to now that they've got. I think it's Interstate 235 or something that goes north from Iowa City on up there to Cedar Falls and Cedar Rapids. It's a cute little town right on the Cedar River, and big college there, state school, northern Iowa, and not much else.
Yeah. Cedar Falls, is it true that just a little north of that is where that plane went down with the rock and roll singers?
Yeah, Buddy Holly's, was in Clear Lake,
yes.
was it?
Just north of Cedar Falls, I think.
I think it's up there in northeast Iowa somewhere. There's some kind of a memorial out in a cornfield there for where that happened.
Yeah, I do remember that when we were on the way to Rochester, Minnesota. Give us an update of the standings. I know UIC has been somewhat of the Cinderella team this year of the Valley. Are they continuing to give heartburn to other teams?
Well, they lost their first 4 conference games, started the conference season 0-4, and then they won 8 in a row. They were on a roll, tied with Bradley at 8-4 prior to last night's game, and so now with the loss at Murray State, they're 8-5. So they're a game behind Bradley. They're in 4th place. Bradley and Murray State are tied for 2nd at 9-4. And Belmont still running away with an 11-2 record. They're 2 games ahead of everybody in first place. But now they have, the schedule makes for a lot of difference in how the team's records look as the season progresses. And Belmont still has a lot of really tough games. They have to play at Murray State. They have to play at Bradley. I believe they still have a game at Illinois State. So they've got road games at many of the best teams in the league, and I think that gap, that 2-game lead that they have over Murray State and Bradley, that could close down if Bradley keeps playing well enough. But you never know. I mean, it just comes down to how you play down the stretch, and Bradley still has some tough games left. They play at Northern Iowa on Friday of this week, and they have some other tough games. They play home games against Belmont and Murray State coming up as well.
One of the things that impresses me about the Bradley basketball team when they're playing well is the fact that they seem to have balanced scoring. They have different players with the most points in a game, so the opposing team has no idea which player they should focus on because any of the players can wind up being the leading scorer.
Well, and when they do focus on a player that they think is going to hurt them the most, then you got to have other guys that can step up and carry the load. And last night it was the freshman Montana Wheeler who came off the bench and led Bradley with 18 points,
Wow.
and he was terrific. He just had probably his best overall game of the season, and he's had several really good games. Passing the ball and setting up other players as well as hitting his open shots. He was 7 of 11 shooting from the floor, really helped keep Bradley ahead through most of the game. A couple of guys struggled. Alex Hubricks, who had the 29-point game over at Drake and hit 9 out of 10 3-pointers. He had a pretty good game. He had 11 points, but he was 3 of 6 from the 3-point line, so he hit some shots when they were needed. And the big guy, Ahmet Djanovic, he had one of his better games. He had 12 points, 6 rebounds, and played very good defense inside against Valparaiso. There were a couple of the guys who didn't play quite so well, and I think that was part of the ire that Coach Wardle expressed on his post-game show, that there were a couple of guys that maybe didn't have their best games, but that's the way basketball is, and you're not going to have kids. I call them kids; they're young adults, but at this age, they still are inexperienced, and they're not going to have their best game every night out. So you just have to expect that and try to overcome when that does happen.
Yeah. What was the attendance for last night's game?
Well, it was a little bit off from what I might have guessed it would be. It was 53-97. The last few home games Bradley's had, the attendance has been up closer to 6,000, but again, a cold night, unusual Tuesday night game that I don't know that we have had any other Tuesday night home games. So maybe that affected it a little bit, but still, a decent turnout, just not one of the better attended games of the season.
And Valpo is not one of the schools that draws well in Peoria. Yeah. In addition to that, like an ISU or Belmont or Murray State or Drake as an example. Well, let's move to the Super Bowl. What are your thoughts, and who do you think's going to win? And there are people that are quietly saying, I'm not going to watch the game, I'm not interested, there's no horse in the race for me.
Well, in a little respect, that's how I feel. I haven't seen many games all year with the Seahawks and the Patriots. I'm not very familiar with too many of the players on their teams. I just wonder if anybody can name who's the running back for the Patriots and who are the wide receivers for the Seattle Seahawks. It's not like they're everyday common names that everybody knows. You might know the quarterback. Drake May, the Patriots' second-year quarterback, has really exceeded expectations for them and brought them back to an elite team. And then you got Sam Darnold, who's bounced around with, I think, 5 other teams, or I think this is his 5th team now with Seattle. He's played for in his 7 or 8 years in the league, and has really underperformed. He was a high draft pick, I think, a number 3 draft pick or something like that in the first round when he was drafted by the, I believe it was the New York Jets initially, and yet he's having an incredible year. He is putting up big numbers. So I think, to watch, I would be interested in seeing how it goes between those 2 quarterbacks who are 2 of the highest-rated quarterbacks in the league this year. And other than that, I don't know too many of the players on either team, but I will watch. It'll be interesting to see. And like you, Roger, I want to watch to see Bad Bunny. I mean, that's the highlight.
Speaking of that, isn't there someone else promoting on another channel a halftime show?
The Turning Point USA organization is having a halftime show with more, I guess you would say,
identifiable
type
artists,
music, and that kind of thing, for people who don't want to watch the Super Bowl's halftime show. So there's other things. There's always the puppy halftime show.
Puppy Bowl.
That's on the Animal Planet network or something.
And also, you got to remember, Andy Griffith will be on some channel. I don't know where it is. So your pick is, I think, the consensus, Seattle.
Well, yeah, Seattle is favored. This morning I saw it was 4.5 points. That's still close enough. I think you'll see the game come down to the final, fourth quarter and how teams play near the end. But I think the Seahawks are just a more well-rounded overall team, and they've maybe been battle-tested a little bit more than the Patriots have with their schedule. So if I had to bet straight up, I would go with the Seahawks. If I had to bet the point spread, maybe I'd be a little tempted to go with the Patriots. But I think the Seahawks are going to win.
All right, as always, appreciate it, and we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
Okay,
All
good
right.
talking to you.
Thank you, Dr. Gene Sidler, with the latest from the world of Bradley basketball, and then a little bit on the football scene as well. Kevin Sullivan, our Wednesday morning legal authority, coming up next. But first, let's get into the news headlines and our weather. Let's start with news headlines for investment questions and information. Think about the name Bob Manning. He's of the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley in Peoria. He's Senior Vice President, has been in the investment advisory field for more than 27 years. Bob Manning, his telephone number 309-671-4653. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. Here's Terry with our headlines.
Well, the top story this morning is City Manager Patrick Urick and Mayor Rita Ali's recommended settlement agreement with East Peoria's Paradise Riverboat did not pass City Council. The deal failed due to a 5-5 tie vote. Opposing members John Kelly, Alex Carmona, Tim Riggenbach, Zach Euler, and Karen Velpula said no deal. They argued the initial agreement calls for any land-based casino to be constructed in Peoria, not East Peoria. Those who supported the settlement agreement worried the issue could be tied up in the courts for 4 or 5 years, and Peoria could lose and get nothing. The battle may not be over. Councilman Dennis Sear failed to attend the special meeting, and a consenting member can bring the question up for reconsideration. Tomorrow, the Illinois Gaming Board will consider the proposed $160 million land-based casino at their meeting in Chicago. Boyd Gaming seeks to skirt the requirement in the original contract that stipulates the casino is supposed to be in the Illinois River or sitting above or in water, as it is with Riverboat. So Boyd plans to develop a water basin under the gambling joint. Peoria attorneys have filed a lawsuit to block the Thursday vote by the Gaming Board for now. We'll talk about the controversy with Peoria attorney Kevin Sullivan shortly. He's on the phone waiting with bated breath, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. Well, in the meantime, read a little faster.
Okay. One of the nasty crash involving Peoria police.
I said faster, not slower.
I could read really fast, but then you couldn't understand me. But anyway.
You're doing fine.
Yes.
Leave her alone, Roger.
The crash yesterday involved a police car, and it was at the intersection Monroe and Frayette. Both drivers went to local hospitals with non-life-threatening injuries. In national news, President Trump has signed legislation funding the partial government shutdown. The $1.2 trillion funding bill supports government agencies until September. The measure passed in the House narrowly, 217 to 214. The Department of Homeland Security is on financial life support for 2 more weeks. Republicans and Democrats will try to reach an agreement to keep the department, and especially the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, fully funded. A number of radical Democrats are calling for closure of ICE, which has operated without opposition in most states, except for Minnesota and Oregon. And those are the headlines, Roger.
All right. We know hard work produces results. That's why realtor Kathy Reynolds is so successful. She works hard to get results for her clients seeking to sell and or buying their next home. Some have a tendency to count the number of houses they sold. Kathy counts the friends she's made. She's with HomeSmart, and you can reach her at 309-696-2162. Dave has the weather.
I do indeed. What a great-looking Wednesday ahead. It's going to be mostly sunny today, a high of 29, much, much better than a week ago, correct? Tonight, cloudy and cold, a low of 16. Tomorrow, we do a nice little rebound, cloudy though, and up to 36 degrees. Friday, what a great day to end our work week. Sunny and a high of 44 on Friday, and then Saturday, the good vibes keep coming, sunny and 36. Currently, we're holding at 13 chilly degrees.
And holding tightly for that matter. And on the line, we have Kevin Sullivan. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Roger.
I don't know, I didn't forewarn you, but have you been paying close attention or any attention to the legal battle, or soon to be a legal battle between Boyd Gaming and the city of Peoria over whether or not the casino that is going to be land-based in East Peoria or Peoria?
I have been paying attention. I'm not saying I'm keeping a minute-by-minute diary on it, but I'm certainly aware of what the council did. I'm also believing that they must have known prior to the special meeting on Monday that there was going to be a tire, that the city was not going to agree to the proposal because they had that lawsuit on file in Chicago first thing yesterday morning, and you just don't put that together, overnight. I mean, it's relatively complicated. They sued the gaming board, East Peoria, Boyd Gaming as well, and they're trying to get an injunction today to stop the gaming board from approving the new casino in East Peoria, and so it's. I don't know if that. I don't know that will happen. I don't know that an injunction will be granted necessarily. There's also a quirk in the law at this point where if you are essentially suing the state of Illinois, there's now a rule that says you have to either file a lawsuit in Sangamon, which is Springfield, Illinois, or in Cook County, and all the Sangamon County is far easier to get to and closer than Cook. I think they chose Cook County just because perhaps the court system there might be friendlier to the city of Peoria than, let's say, Springfield would be, is what I'm guessing. But even if they do enjoin or get an injunction against the gaming board, whether they do or don't, this thing's going to be tied up, and there's going to be no movement whatsoever one way or another until either there is an acceptable agreement or till the litigation is resolved. And from what I've been reading, it's pretty well understood that Boyd Gaming will not be building. They do not want to build in Peoria for whatever reason.
Yeah, how do you read the contract and the interpretation of the contract in 1991 that said very clearly, I think both sides agree, that's what it said, it must be built, the casino, on land. And however, if it's built over water, they can continue under the 1991 agreement. How do you think judges would view the idea that Boyd Gaming obviously is pulling what you might say a sneak attack, or maybe not so sneak, but really bending the rules by putting some water under it, and thus it's not land-based?
Well, and I'm aware that in 1991, that's what the original contract said. Now, the boat was under different ownership then, but when Boyd Gaming acquired the Paradise a number of years later, they would have purchased it subject to any pre-existing contract such as that. So they would have adopted that, and therefore they would be bound by that. Now, I'm not sure that there's a definition or an example within that contract as to the definition of what is land-based versus what is, I'm just going to say, water-based, for example. And I know what Boyd wants to do, because from what I understand, I just heard this the other day, as a matter of fact, they have to keep a full-time Coast Guard certified captain on the boat, even though it's moored in East Peoria, no matter what. And even though that boat boat is not going to move, or it's whether it's even seaworthy at this point, I don't know. But they have to pay somebody who's Coast Guard certified, and that's a big chunk of change every year for essentially somebody that isn't doing much. And I believe they got to remain in the wheelhouse, which would be really a boring job if you ask me. So I don't know if putting essentially a creek from the river underneath the building is going to suffice to make it, quote, water-based in this situation. And I think it's going to be subject to different interpretations. I would not at all be surprised to see the trial court do one thing, the appellate court do another. And from what I read yesterday, it's believed that this case eventually will work its way to the Supreme Court, because it's going to have enough impact, not just on East Peoria and Peoria. You got two different counties, but it could have an impact on future gaming in those situations down the road in Illinois, should the same issue arise, and I could see it doing that. So, again, if the contract is not clear in terms of defining what is water-based, that's going to be subject to judicial interpretation. And will what they're proposing now be sufficient, or will they have to really stay out, on a boat if they're going to stay in East Peoria, or are they going to have to build a bigger trench so that water is, let's say, surrounding it by half or on three sides or something like that? So that's stay tuned. It's going to be a while before we know the answer to this.
Yeah. Do you want to go out on a limb and not out on a limp, but out on a limb, but you may limp to it if you fall. How this is going to end up favoring, as I said earlier, Boyd Gaming obviously has deeper pockets in the city of Peoria.
Well, yes, it does. And if I'm going to make a prediction, and what I think you're going to see happen is you're going to see some judicial legislation, and I know that's kind of a contradiction of terms. I think my prediction is at the end of the day, you're going to find a court that's going to say, if you're going to stay in East Peoria, you got to have more connection to the river than what's being proposed. And whether, so that's writing additional language essentially into the contract, and that'll withstand muster or scrutiny in the higher courts. I don't know. I foresee at the end of the day, the end of this process, Boyd Gaming's going to be able to build a casino next to the river in East Peoria, as they are intending to do right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if, the revenue they're talking about is a payment of $1.8 million to the city of Peoria. And I don't know that the court can necessarily get involved in that, because, the numbers are what the numbers are, and I don't know if gaming's on the rise, if it's on the fall, or what have you. So that may change, or maybe there would be some additional negotiations. But, at this point, you got to believe if this case goes from the trial court, from the Cook County Circuit Court, trial court, to the appellate court, to the Supreme Court, how much money is it going to cost Boyd Gaming? Are they going to want to come to the table and maybe renegotiate? And I think that's a distinct possibility at this point. You also look at it from a political standpoint. Peoria's got an offer right now of $1.8 million a year without the headaches of having the boat in their city or in their county. And when I say the headaches, the security, the problems, the maintenance, things like that. Is that really a bad deal for Peoria? And I think that's for, I haven't analyzed pro and con myself, and nor am I qualified to do that. But obviously the members of the city council have done that, and they've agreed to disagree at this point. And, unfortunately, they did not have full council available to vote on Monday night, and because it's an odd number, and it either would have been voted down or voted up 6-5, one way or the other. So I think that's what's going to happen down the road, in my amateur opinion, I will say.
Well, I wouldn't say amateur, but we had Alex Carmona on in the previous hour, and he was one of those opposed to the agreement. However, he said something that I believe will play into this situation. I think he left the door open that if Boyd Gaming sweetened the pot a little bit more, that they might wind up settling this out of court. And I believe you, as you've stated many times, 80 to 90% of court cases are settled outside the courtroom before trial.
Well, I alluded to that a few minutes ago because,
Right.
now you've got to think about Peoria suing the state of Illinois. Okay, they're suing the city of East Peoria, so now East Peoria is going to incur legal costs they otherwise would avoid gaming. And, if they were to up the offer, so to speak, to, let's say $2.3 million, another $500,000 higher per year, is that enough? And that's for, that's for the city council, the city manager to determine. And, or what is their number? What do they want? How close are they? And, if you amortize, let's say it's going to cost Boyd Gaming a couple of $1 million, or let's say East Peoria, $1 million in additional legal fees. Can they get together and say, look, we'd rather see Peoria have a little bit more on an annual basis, and let's get this project going, rather than waiting 5 years for a decision that we don't know what that decision will be. So kudos to Alex Carmona for keeping that door open, or at least it's the communication channels open. And I think that's anytime you can get a case settled where it's on your terms and you have control over that settlement is sometimes far better than, pardon the expression, rolling the dice with the court system.
Good expression. I like that. I think that's called craps. And maybe that.
Well, yeah, you don't want to crap out, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Now, for 10 points, going back in history, tick off the names of the original investors in the riverboat, at least some of them that you recall.
Well, the original three I happen to know very well. One was Dr. Jim DeBoard. The other was Albert Zeller from Avantes.
Yeah.
And the other was Dale
Birkeland.
Oh, Birkeland. Those were the three.
Yeah.
And they ended up having at one time 29 investors. When they sold to Boyd, they were at 21 investors. And the last guy that came on board as an investor became one of the movers and shakers and really made things happen, was Joe O'Brien of O'Brien Steel.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yes.
Was it?
Guys.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Those guys really had a great return on their investment when they sold to Boyd.
Are you kidding me? You're underplaying that. I mean, it was. My understanding is originally the investors had to pony up $250,000 to per share, or up to $500,000. Did I hear right?
Yes, there were some that got in like as a group, like let's say 3 guys got together or 5 guys got together, and maybe they had a small corporation, they each put $50,000 in to make the $250,000. But it's funny you bring this up because I think it was last Thursday or Friday, I happened to have lunch with Joe O'Brien, Jim DeBoard, and Albert Zeller, and the talk about the boat came up, and that's why I know, some of the stories about it. But there's an interesting story, and I'm not going to name names, but, when these guys came on board, you just didn't invest money. You had to be approved by the state of Illinois. You had to show financial worthiness, clean criminal history, et cetera, et cetera. So there was background checks that were done. And one of the original investors in town had a felony conviction from way back when, and the gaming board did not discover that at the time. So this person is one of the investors, And when the gaming board found out about it several years later, their rules said that he could no longer be an investor, and the boat had to buy him out at his initial investment. What he put in as an initial investment, which let's say was $250,000. By that time, his this person's share was upwards of $6 or $7 million, and you know what a kick in the fanny that was.
Yeah, I'm hoping that his spouse or someone in his family was able to buy in if he had to cash out, but that
was not the case.
That was not the case. That's too bad. I do know a doctor who was, a matter of fact, I know two people, both rejected. And the one who was a physician said he would have had to dip into his pension, and he didn't want to do that, and regretted that decision much later, but that's part of Monday morning quarterbacking. Can you give us an update, and switching subjects, where are we on the transgender issue, I guess still before the Supreme Court in sports?
Well, you know, there's been a couple of cases at this point. For example, one was, I think, funding in Tennessee, that the Supreme Court said no, the state does not have to do that. So far, the Supreme Court, well, we're waiting on a decision at this point in time on Title IX that was recently argued, and that's going to be probably, the decision will be broader coming out from the Supreme Court based upon, you know, the questions during the oral argument. As I recall, one of the justices, it might be Justice Jackson, the newest addition to the Supreme Court, seemed to favor supporting the rights of the transgenders in this situation. And I think you're going to see 6372 at least against the transgender position in this situation, going back to what I would call is either natural law or God law. You know, a man is a man, a woman's a woman, at least for legal enforcement purposes. And you know, time will tell. I think that decision will probably take a while. We talked about that because if it's not going to be a unanimous opinion, all those opinions have to be circulated, they have to be edited, they've got to be responded to. So it does take some time. And of course, it's going to be, it is a sticky issue, but I think you're going to see the traditionalist side prevail with the Supreme Court.
Well, we hope so. We know that the state of Maine has seen people rise to the occasion and demand that state leaders protect girls' sports. I don't know about you, but I am surprised that the people who have pushed ERA, is that what they called it at one time, on behalf of women, where are they now on behalf of
that
girls?
was back in the days of like Phyllis Schlafly and you know, and some of the other movers. That was, I think, back in the 70s. It's essentially another form of it that's expanded to what is, you know, I guess now a third sect of, I don't know if you'd call it a sex or you'd call it a gender in this situation. But, you know, I think the Supreme Court's going to have to, they're going to come down, I think, fairly rigid in this. In my prediction, is fairly rigid in favor of, no, going forward in terms of government benefits and protections, a man's a man, a woman's a woman.
Yeah. To me, nothing is more clearer in black and white, day and night, than men not playing, regardless of how they identify, against girls. And yet there are people who believe it's okay. And for the life of me, I don't understand it. Do you?
Well, I don't either. You know, and there's nothing that we can do at this point in time in the legal system, or frankly, in my opinion, in the medical world, that is going to necessarily equalize a man and woman. They were born differently. They were born with different functions. Men traditionally are bigger, stronger, faster. women than women, let's say, and I don't know how that can be changed. You can't, if you're going to go in and basically reroute every human being that wants to do that, I still don't think you can get rid of that difference that we had nothing to do with. That's the way it's been for eons. And, it's like I said, I would call it natural law, which supersedes United States law. And, I guess you would say that it's like saying steel is stronger than wood. Yeah, it is. That's how, some things are just different. It's physical. It's granted. It's given. And I think that's how the court's going to probably look at it.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on any other legal issues? I will tell you that I am not surprised, but there are people at that Community Cities church in Minneapolis have said, despite the calming down for the last 2 Sundays, churchgoers have been harassed by many of the same protesters and rioters that interrupted the church service before, and you wonder where in the HELL are the local police to protect the churchgoers. They are being harassed.
Yeah, where are the local police, period?
Yeah.
Up there, and and I think it's going to be an interesting situation coming down from the courts with regard to Don Lemon, and and he's been making the rounds, kind of doing what I think he thinks is a victory lap, and I think it's far from that. And he said, I didn't go in, I wasn't a protester, I didn't this. Yeah, your timing was rather unique. If that wasn't the case, and why not let the people and the ministers do their job? And if you want to talk to them afterwards in a much less confrontational fashion. Yeah. Or wait outside for them, or ask them for an interview, like most every other responsible and decent news journalist does. But Don Lemon had that minister cornered to the point he was trying to get away to get up to the pulpit, and Don Lemon just wouldn't let it go. And we can all say I think it was bad form. The optics were not good. Where the courts have come down on free speech versus the SAFE Act is going to be interesting. I think you're going to see the trial court, of course, is going to be in Minnesota, and I don't know if the district court up there leans like the people of Minneapolis left or what have you, but I think then it's going to go to the Court of Appeals, and I wouldn't at all be surprised to see that get to the Supreme Court, because it is a constitutional-related issue, and I think they need to set the record straight. So, stay tuned, buckle up, and it's going to be a while before that plays itself out.
As always, thank you very kindly, Mr. Attorney, for bringing us up to date on a couple of issues that on the front plate of American society today. Always a pleasure to listen to you. Thank you, Kevin Sullivan.
Thank you, Roger, and everybody, and we'll talk to you very soon.
All right, thank you. Kevin Sullivan, Peoria attorney, and it's always a pleasure Wednesday morning. We have a temperature of 14 degrees today, mostly sunny. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
To every referee, umpire, and judge in high school sports, we want to say, we see you.
We see everything you do for us that goes unnoticed.
We see the positive role models that you are.
We see the way you get unfairly criticized just for doing your job.
The truth is, we couldn't play without you.
So thank you for investing your time in us.
Thank you for protecting the integrity of the game, no matter what.
We hope you always know how much we appreciate you.
Because without you, this is just recess. It's not really a game.
Thank you for always making it possible for us to play the sports we love.
Want to serve the students in your community? Sign up to become an official at highschoolofficials.com.
All right, that takes care of hour number 2 of Breakfast with Roger and Friends. So happy to see everybody. Once again, thank you, Kevin Sullivan. And we continue our discussion of the decision by the city council to reject the agreement with Boyd Gaming, and former Councilman Chuck Grayeb will join us after our 8 o'clock news, weather, and sports block. So have you could join us today. Stay tuned. More coming on WAZU FM 90.7, also on YouTube. Good morning, everybody. It's a Wednesday morning, and welcome to Breakfast with Roger and Friends, if you're just joining us. And we'll start with a check of the weather, and it's brought to you by our friends at Spoon River Home Health, making a difference in the lives of their clients. They've been around since 1993 with a comprehensive range of home health services, from skilled nursing to bathing and personal care. Your choice matters at Spoon River, and you can reach them at 309-245-0723.
Well, a mostly sunny Wednesday awaits you as you get on your way to school and work and what have you going on a Wednesday. So it's a high of 29 today. That's going to feel really nice, isn't it? Tonight, clouds come in. It will be chilly, so put the coat back on tonight. 16 degrees for a low. Tomorrow, clouds come in, but it'll be 36 degrees. And then look at Friday, sunny and a high of 44. That is a nice way to end your work week. Saturday, sunny and 36 as you go about your chores. Currently, our weather department informs us we're holding at 14 degrees.
What department was that?
The weather department.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I like that.
highly paid weather.
Highly sophisticated weather
Sophisticated,
department. Yes. And now the news. This morning, presented by Advanced Medical Transport, the premier provider of emergency and scheduled ambulance services in central, western, and eastern Illinois. There are more than 500, count them, AMT employees, men and women, dedicated to offering and providing the best in health care. Saving lives is what they do. Here's Terry.
Reiterate the top story this morning, the same as yesterday. City Manager Patrick Urick and Mayor Rita Ali's recommended settlement agreement with East Peoria's Paradise Riverboat failed to pass due to a 5-5 tie vote. Opposing members John Kelly, Alex Carmona, Tim Rickenbach, Zach Euler, and Karen Velpula said no deal. They argued the initial agreement calls for any land-based casino to be constructed in Peoria.
Those who supported the settlement agreement worried the issue could be tied up in the courts for 4 or 5 years, and Peoria could lose and get nothing. The battle may not be over. Councilman Dennis Sear failed to attend the special meeting, and a consenting member can bring the question up for reconsideration.
Tomorrow, the Illinois Gaming Board will consider the proposed $160 million land-based casino at their meeting in Chicago. Board Gaming seeks to skirt the requirement in the original contract that stipulates the casino is supposed to be in the Illinois River or sitting above or in water, as it is with the riverboat. So, Boyd plans to develop a water basin under the gambling joint.
Now, Peoria attorneys have filed a lawsuit to block the Thursday vote by the Gaming Board for now. We talked about this with 2nd District Representative Alex Carmona this morning and Kevin Sullivan, and we will hear from former City Councilman Chuck Grayeb. We report this, you get to decide.
Oh, I like that.
Officials at School District 150 announced that Peoria High basketball coach Danny Ruffin has been placed on unpaid leave after he was arrested for allegedly soliciting a 16-year-old female student at the Central High School. Yep. At last report, Ruffin was taken to the county jail.
A nasty crash involving a Peoria police car yesterday morning at the intersection of Monroe and Fayette Street sent drivers of both vehicles to local hospitals with non-life-threatening injuries. So far, no tickets issued.
Turning to national news, President Trump has signed legislation ending the partial government shutdown. The $1.2 trillion funding bill supports government agencies until September. The measure passed in the House narrowly, 217 to 214. A few Republicans joined with Democrats to try and defeat the bill and continue the shutdown.
The Department of Homeland Security is on financial life support for only 2 more weeks. Republicans and Democrats will try to reach an agreement to keep the department, and especially the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, fully funded. A number of radical Democrats are calling for the closure of ICE, which is operated without opposition in most states except for Minnesota and Oregon.
Authorities in Tucson, Arizona continue the search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, mother of NBC TV host Savannah Guthrie. The elderly woman was kidnapped from her home Saturday evening and has not been seen since. There is a report a supposed ransom note has surfaced. President Trump said he was reaching out to daughter Savannah to offer federal assistance. And that's the news, Roger.
That's the news, and let's get into sports. Tyrus is here. Tyrus, what do you have? In addition to the Bradley big win against Bow.
That's right. Well, thank you, Roger. Let's start with some Bradley basketball. Bradley basketball 16-8 after beating Valpo 72-65 yesterday. The next game is Friday versus UNI at 7 p.m. It is an away game. Bradley girls basketball are 14-8 after losing to Illinois State 58-54 in overtime. They play tomorrow versus Northern Iowa at 6 p.m. It is a home game. Other news, Illinois basketball. They are 19-3 after beating Nebraska 78-69. Next game is tonight versus Northwestern at 8 p.m. at home. Illinois girls basketball are 16-6 and are coming off a win versus Washington, 75-66. They play tonight versus Oregon at 8 p.m. It is an away game.
I know you're a big fan of Nebraska women's volleyball. Have you watched the Illinois girls basketball team or Bradley's? They play a good brand of basketball.
Yeah, I know.
Yes,
they do. They do play.
All right.
Pretty
Just
well.
checking.
I mean,
you can catch them every now and then. The Illinois team on Big Ten basketball, Big Ten Sports Channel.
Yeah.
9:59 on
They're
Comcast.
playing well.
They're playing very well.
Very well. Very surprised. Illinois is red hot. I don't like the coach too much for Illinois. The guys basketball.
You don't like the men's basketball coach?
No.
Why is that?
Not too much. I just
don't care for him.
He's not as grumpy as he used to be.
Well, that's good. He used to be. He used to be a lot more.
Well, he's no Bobby Knight.
Well, he's not
no
throwing a chair.
Yeah.
But, he even smiled when they dumped last
yes,
week.
they do.
Yes, there you go.
Every now and then he does.
Grinning.
Yeah.
You're kind of grinning when you're ranking.
He's on that.
And when you're winning, and
throw whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can be happy when you're winning.
Yes, you can.
I just think because the teams that they've had, and they blow it when it gets to the tournament time.
Then they
and when they lost to
out, don't they?
They do, and when they lost to Loyola or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And they didn't make adjustments at all. It's just
think about this. It's a nice thing, the strength of the Big Ten. We've got 4 teams.
Oh,
top
you
15,
bet.
and that
Michigan
tells you the
State
strength.
is outstanding.
Absolutely.
Michigan is a great team.
So when you look
Illinois, and who's and Nebraska.
Nebraska, absolutely. So you look at those 4 and you think, the Big Ten's got some things going.
Some pretty.
Yeah, it's nice to see a little
teams.
Central America,
Central
part of America represented.
I don't know about Central
Not
America,
Central,
but
that's baseball.
Yeah,
Whole
okay.
different sport.
Yeah. All right. Did you lose your place?
Oh no.
Okay. Now more sports.
The Super Bowl is set. Patriots and Seahawks this Sunday at the 8th at 5:30 p.m. We all have the Seahawks winning there. Other NFL news: John Harbaugh and the Giants have hired Matt Nagy to be their offensive coordinator, former Bears coach, and longtime Giants assistant to Andy Reid there. New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft will not be selected into the Pro Football Hall of Fame for this year. Some Bears news. While Arlington Heights is the preferred destination for the Bears' new stadium, there could be a decision to move to Northwest Indiana at the end of February or March. Old Gary, Indiana. We'll see. The 2026 NFL Pro Bowl games. The NFC won the day, beating AFC 66-52. Kevin Byard and Deshaun Wright of the Bears both had interceptions in this game. NFL news: the Blackhawks are 22-25-9 after beating the Sharks 6-3. They play the Columbus Blue Jackets at 6 p.m. tonight. The St. Louis Blues are 20-27-9, lost to the Predators 6-5 in a collapsing fashion, giving up 3 goals in the third period to lose. They move on to Dallas Stars tonight at 8:30 p.m. NBA news: Chicago Bulls are 24-27, coming off a loss to the Bucks. In that loss, Modest Buzelis became the first player in franchise history and 17th player all time to have 5 blocks and 5 threes in the same game. They play tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. versus the Toronto Raptors, and we'll see how different they look because they've already started to tear the team down. Traded center Nikola Vucevic and the second to the Celtics, and wing Kevin Huerter, and newly acquired Dario Saric to the Pistons. The Bulls got back Anthony Simons and a second-round pick from the Celtics, Jaden Ivey from the Pistons, and Mike Conley from the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies also swapped a protected first to the Pistons. They kind of both swapped it, so, I mean, they could be second-round picks. They could be, it doesn't really matter, really.
No, it doesn't.
No, because the Grizzlies were just...
Who cares about the Grizzlies?
That's right. They're just dumping Mike Conley's salary, pretty much. So, other NBA news: a couple of All-Stars got swapped for each other. James Harden gets traded away from the Clippers to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavaliers they traded away Darius Garland, and the Clippers get him. MLB news: the Cardinals traded away utility man Brendan Donovan in a 3-team deal that will send him to the Seattle Mariners. And the Rays, who are the third team in this deal, get Ben Williamson, who's pretty good third baseman. Not a whole lot of pop there, but you never know. And the Cardinals got back 22-year-old, formerly ambidextrous pitcher Durangelo Sagente, and 20-year-old Ty Pete, and 24-year-old outfielder Colton Ledbetter. And the number 68 and 72 picks in this July's MLB draft. That's our sports report. Back to you guys.
1 week away from spring.
All right, folks,
Yes,
let's
we
get
are.
started. Parents, thanks for coming. As many of you know, I'm Coach Mather. Tonight I want to talk about the season, of which I only have one expectation: that everybody gets stronger. When I say get stronger, I'm not referring solely to physical strength. Sure, we'll be in the weight room, we'll be running stairs, but we're also going to focus on developing mental toughness and grit, because those are the characteristics that allow us to achieve greatness both on and off the court. So how do we develop those things? By getting comfortable with a challenge, by cultivating the confidence necessary to overcome adversity in all forms. That's why I coach. That's my purpose. Every member of this team can lean on me, and I'll teach them how they can lean on themselves and each other.
This message presented by the IHSA and the Illinois Athletic Directors Association.
Well, boys and girls, hour number 3 of Breakfast with Roger and Friends continues with Jerry Chamberlain. We have Dave Pohls here and also Tyrus Kileon, yours truly, Roger Monroe. We have 14 degrees, and as you've heard Dave point out, it's going to get up to near 30 degrees. In the meantime, let's warm things up with former Councilman Chuck Grayeb on the line. Good morning, Chuck.
Well, good morning.
I know you're not on the council now, but that doesn't mean you turned in your homework, because you keep your eye on, and this is a good comment for a guy who was in education for how many years, Chuck? 40?
33 years, Roger, and
still counting.
You know, we go back to the early 90s when that intergovernmental agreement was struck, and I think you and I talked about this the other day, and that's the casino issue. And so that has an interesting history, and I'd be happy to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Before you do, did you have any connection to Dave Pohls? I mean, Dave was in education, and you knew everybody. I mean, between you and Harry Whitaker, you pretty well really stole the show.
Well, Chuck, I will say this. You were actually at Peoria High when I was a student. I was there from 78 to 82, so
I'm sure he was
I was a lot younger. We both were younger.
I was going to say, you now pointed out that he's older than you are.
If memory serves, I think you were the student council advisor or something like
That's right,
Yeah,
Dave.
see?
You got a good memory.
Well,
Really?
that's about all.
Where at Peoria High?
Peoria High,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah. How many years were you at Peoria High?
Gee, that was the first 9 years of my teaching career, teaching social studies and being the student council sponsor. Dave remembers very well. So
That's not something you hear very well from Dave.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did Harry Whitaker, is he the one who hired you?
Actually, Harry Whitaker was a counselor and also an enriched English teacher when I was a student, and he was my teacher
Really?
sophomore year. And so after I got my teaching certificate, I applied for a social studies job there, and actually I think Harry Whitaker hired me, but he had left Peoria High to go to the boardrooms, and Corky Robertson was the first principal I worked under.
Interesting. You know, I'll never forget, Harry was a dear friend. He was a neighbor, lived 2 doors away. Knew him, Woodruff High School graduate, who, by the way, joined the Navy during World War II. His mother is the one who accepted his diploma at graduation because he was on a ship. And I'll tell you a quick story about Harry Whitaker. He had a girlfriend, I assume it was Arlene, who became his wife later, but I don't know that for sure, and decided to get into a boxing tournament on board the ship. And he advanced to the championship, and the winner would receive a diamond ring. And so he was really eager. Well, he wound up boxing against a guy who was a Golden Gloves champion, beat the living you-know-what out of Harry, he said, and that did not win the ring, but did learn very quickly in life. There's always somebody bigger and better for you. But God love him. He was a great friend, a great person, and a great superintendent in District 150.
Well, he's missed now. He understood the importance of discipline and the basics, and teaching what children needed to know to excel in the real world. And everybody knew that Harry Whitaker had the best interest of the kids at heart.
Yeah, amen. And so did Chuck Grayeb and Dave Pohls and John Meisinger and Terry Chamberlain. I don't know about Tyrus, but or Roger for that matter. But one of the things Harry could do was count. And he said he always felt comfortable if he can count to 4 as the number of people who supported him on the Board of Education, or 5 or whatever the number is. Well, you counted, and that council tied at 5-5. Was that a good vote, in your opinion, regarding the riverboat and the land-based casino?
Well, first of all, I don't want to make any critical comments about any of my past colleagues there. Because this issue was discussed even before my 6th term came to an end. It goes all the way back to the 90s when I was first on the council. But I think the council showed division by having such a deeply divided vote, and that's never the type of signal you want to send to a potential litigant, in this case Boyd Gaming, possibly the Illinois Gaming Commission. You want to come in real solid. And, I think that ultimately, of course, because the tie vote causes a failure in the motion to approve that agreement that Boyd wanted, they're now going to litigation, and the papers were already filed. And so this is a matter that's going to be litigated, the Intergovernmental Agreement of 1991, and I believe will prevail if we stick to our guns.
Yeah. There's more involved in just the gambling, which in the broader picture is that it has done so much economically for East Peoria. Would it do the same if it comes to Peoria?
Well, absolutely. First of all, the new casino, which they talked about a year ago, almost to this day, was to be a $100 million development, about 29,000 square feet. And they indicated they wanted to build it in the first half of 26. Now, the 91 intergovernmental agreement and the 2019 state law governing gaming says that it has to be built on the Peoria County side of the river because they did not get the maritime permits to continue to operate on the river. Of course, Roger, as you know, this needs to make national news because it's so ridiculous. It's a theater of the absurd. I don't know if Boyd Gaming wants to look so foolish. They're asserting that they want to take about 1,000 gallons of river water and just pump it underneath the floor of the building that they want to build in East Peoria, and they're going to call it a riverboat. Well, my suggestion to them is we could truck that 1,000 gallons of river water over to Peoria, a site near the interstate area, and we'll call that a riverboat too. It's about as ridiculous as their reasoning. I believe we'll prevail in court, and I'm glad that this has ultimately ended in a litigation situation.
The mayor really weighed in quite heavily on this and wanted the deal to be accepted. And I think her argument predominantly was if we go into litigation, we could lose everything. How do you respond to that argument?
Oh, that's of course. You know, we have some cowardly lions who advise us in terms of our legal counsel. I think she's listening to the cowardly lions way too much. I think that's ridiculous. For us to have an agreement that will surely withstand the scrutiny of the courts and have it all these years now and backed by the 2019 state law to say that Peoria, you should be willing to accept $1.8 million a year instead of 3 times that. I think that's entering the theater of the absurd. And, you know, Peoria has about a $350 million annual budget. Every council has a line item for litigation. If this isn't time to wisely use some of those dollars to litigate, I don't know when it would be, because this is going to affect future generations of Peorians and our ability to grow our economy and have even further development on our side of the river.
If Peoria were to be successful in court, and apparently is where it's going to go, 2 things. One, do the terms of the existing agreement apply, whereby East Peoria would get 50-50 of the earnings? And
absolutely.
Okay, so that would apply. So really, there are, in the end, no losers. I'm not convinced that the mayor is right when she said we could lose everything.
No.
I think that's a false assumption or argument.
Well, you know, that assumes that Boyd Gaming will get mad and say we're going to just not build at all, which is highly unlikely. And if that were the case, then maybe somebody else would come in here and to do gaming. But that is such a highly unlikely scenario. I just think there are times when, you know, we have to fight. Otherwise, you know, the contract that we entered into is just being shredded. And I don't know how our city councilors can stand by and allow that to happen.
Yeah. Where would you like to see it? If we are, Peoria is successful, where would you like to see the casino to be located? Maybe 1 or 2 sites that you've had in mind for the future?
Well, it has to be by the transportation links, preferably out by 74, the Northwoods Mall, or the shops on the Grand Prairie area, any area like that, because Boyd has openly stated that they want to be by the transportation links. So I think that would be best, because there are people come from far and wide to go to that gaming boat, and those interstate links will help get them there very efficiently. So, you know, it's not so much a matter where I would want it, but I think that also gets it away from neighborhoods and puts it where the commerce is, where these lifelines, corridors, highway corridors run, and help get people to and from that development. It's a big deal. I mean, just the building of a new casino is going to mean many, many jobs, 29,000 square foot edifice. And then the spin-off effect, getting that extra increment that East Peoria has enjoyed all these years, would then be on our side. So I just think that the council maybe didn't do it through a majority, but because they tied up the motion to accept that rip-off agreement, it failed. So I think now they're going to litigate. And frankly, I can imagine that some of the council members could have gone either way on it. Sometimes some of these issues that come before the council are very complex. And so, as I say, I don't criticize any of my colleagues, but I think they're being cowardly lions, and they listen to legal counsel that all too often is cowardly.
Well, as you discussed on our telephone conversation yesterday, this is a big issue, and it has major ramifications really on both sides of the river, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And you know, I can remember when Peoria didn't want it on the Peoria side of the river, and there was a majority of council that said they didn't want anything to do with the gaming boat or gambling, and it went onto the other side. Now, how many times have you and I heard over these many years, since the 90s, what a big, gross, colossal mistake it was to allow that extra increment to go to East Peoria instead of Peoria. You know, as cash-starved as we are with our budgets, keep hearing all the time, well, you let the boat go to the other side. Well, now we have a chance to bring the boat over here. Let's not accept 1.8 million instead of about 3 times that per year when we have, I believe, a rock-solid agreement. It needs to be litigated. The city attorney's already filed, Cook County, to have this restraining order placed on the Illinois Gaming Board not to make a decision this Thursday, tomorrow. If they do and go ahead and do that, we'll have to litigate with them as well. And as I said, we do have a line item for litigation. And this is big picture dollars for Peoria. So if we're ever going to use money for legal purposes, it would be for something as big as this.
Yeah. Obviously, even though you're not on the council currently, you still are interested. You follow issues very, very closely. Have you made a decision yet on seeking a return to the city council?
No. You know,
is that a no, no, I'm not interested, or no, I haven't made a decision?
I haven't made a decision.
Okay.
You know, I served 3 at-large terms, Roger, from 95 to 2007, was tired, left, came back 6 years later, and then 3 terms as a district councilman. Obviously, when I ran last time, I had no intention of retiring, but things went a different way, and that's the way it goes. You win some and you lose some. But I enjoy my extra leisure time, but we'll see what's going on come July of next year, which is when people have to make up their minds whether they're running for the at-large seat. So
July of next year?
Yes, petitions out July of next year, be filed before Thanksgiving. There are 5 seats on the council that are at-large and 5 that are districts, so plenty of time.
Yeah, plenty of time. But let me know, because I have to make plans on moving back to Peoria so I can vote for you.
We want you to move back to Peoria regardless.
Okay, we'll work on that. Anything else for the good of the day and our wonderful listeners, Chuck Gray?
Well, I think there's something that's a sleeper, and that is the possibility that we could have Archbishop Fulton J. Sheen be canonized, beatified, become a saint, thanks to Pope Leo XIV, who has broken the logjam on this. That will mean hundreds of thousands of dollars coming to the downtown area, as we will then become a city, one of the few cities worldwide that has the remains of a saint, down by St. Mary's Cathedral. 20 years ago, staff and I met with diocesan officials and discussed how we could remake the downtown to help facilitate the influx of pilgrims that will be coming in almost certainly to visit St. Mary's Cathedral and the areas, you know, around Peoria, El Paso, his boyhood home, etc. So this is going to have huge impact once this happens, both for our city and our region. I don't think the council's talking about it, but they should.
Yeah, and I think it's a great subject to bring up. And we talked a little bit about it yesterday in our phone conversation. Why the delay? This should be a smooth transition from New York to Peoria and Central Illinois. But there's been a fly in the ointment, and who do we blame for that?
Well, the New York Diocese, they didn't want to give up his remains. Originally, there was a suit on the part of the diocese to bring his remains back here because, after all, he grew up in El Paso, and one of his first places to be a priest was St. Mary's. And they wanted to keep it there because they knew that he was on his way to becoming a saint, being beatified. So they fought like heck, and then the diocese lost in court. And then they came back realizing they were told they didn't have standing. The niece was still alive. She was in her 80s. She litigated, and she said that she had standing to bring them back, and she wanted the remains brought back and delivered to St. Mary's Cathedral. And then, of course, once they lost that, they had to start the chatter about how he didn't do his best job as the archbishop, and that he helped cover up pedophilia and all this stuff. It was never substantiated. I believe Phil Luciano has written extensively on this. And so I think that was just dirty cool. It was just getting back. And so I believe Pope Leo has seen through this, and matter of fact, this has been well reported in the Journal-Star and the other news media, that it looks like there will be beatification sometime in 26, and that will have it'll be a huge development for Peoria economically as well. Well, we have a lot of things going for us, Roger, and our best days are ahead. I really believe that.
Amen to that. I agree. Chuck Grayeb, thanks so much for chatting with us. I appreciate it. And stay warm.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, bet.
Thanks for all you've done for our city and our schools.
Yeah, good guy. Chuck Grayeb, former 2nd District Councilman. And let's wrap things up news-wise with our final newscast for the morning. News brought to you by Sam Lilly and Associates, providing a comprehensive range of insurance products, including personal auto, home, life, and medical coverage. Sam specializes in Medicare plans and options, something he's been doing now during his 40 years in the insurance industry. He knows insurance, and you can learn more from Sam. He's available at 309-245-4374. Here's Terry.
Well, the top story this morning, as we've been discussing, is that City Manager Patrick Urick and Mayor Rita Ali's recommended settlement agreement with East Peoria's Paradise Riverboat did not pass the City Council. The deal failed due to a 5-5 tie vote. Opposing members John Kelly, Alex Carmona, Tim Rickenbach, Zach Euler, and Kieran Velpula said no deal. They argued the initial agreement calls for any land-based casino to be constructed in Peoria, not East Peoria. Those who supported the settlement agreement worried the issue could be tied up in the courts for 4 or 5 years, and Peoria could lose and get nothing. The battle may not be over. Councilman Dennis Sear failed to attend the special meeting, and a consenting member can bring the question up for reconsideration. Tomorrow, the Illinois Gaming Board will consider the proposed $160 million land-based casino at their meeting in Chicago. Boyd Gaming seeks to skirt the requirement in their original contract that stipulates the casino is supposed to be in the Illinois River or sitting above or in water, as it is with Riverboat. So, Boyd plans to develop a water basin under the gambling joint.
It is silly, though, isn't it, really, when you think about it?
It is. They can build a moat. I mean, have a castle, you know.
Yeah, I know there's one on the Springfield Road that's been empty for years. Have you seen that?
No,
it's
I haven't.
It's a huge castle. Some guy, well, I hate to interrupt your wonderful news, but some guy built a huge castle by Broadway and the Springfield Road. It sits back. It's beautiful, but it's empty. And it has, I'm sure, fine furnishings in terms of plumbing, lamps, ceiling lights, etc., so forth. But it's sitting there deteriorating. You know, if you have a house and you leave it empty for year after year after year, after a while, it isn't worth a dip, but it's probably $1 million structure for that matter. And maybe what they ought to do, they can't sell it, I guess, and is build a moat around it and turn it into a museum of sorts.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Not me, but maybe you.
Definitely not me. I'm dealing with enough problems.
Yeah, without adding more.
Peoria attorneys have filed a lawsuit to block the Thursday vote by the gaming board, at least for now. And we've heard from 2nd District Representative and the City Council, Alex Carmona. Attorney Kevin Sullivan weighed in, and now we just heard from former City Councilman Chuck Grayeb. We're reporting, you decide. Officials at School District 150 announced that Peoria High basketball coach Danny Ruffin has been placed on unpaid leave after he was arrested for allegedly soliciting a 16-year-old female student at the school. At last report, Ruffin was taken to the county jail. A nasty crash involving a Peoria police car yesterday morning at the intersection of Monroe and Fayette sent drivers of both vehicles to local hospitals with non-life-threatening injuries. So far, no tickets have been issued. Turning to national news, President Trump has signed legislation ending the partial government shutdown. The $1.2 trillion funding bill supports government agencies until September. The measure passed in the House narrowly, 217 to 214.
Ooh, that was close.
That was very close. The Department of Homeland Security is on financial life support for 2 more weeks. Republicans and Democrats will try to reach an agreement to keep the department and especially the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency fully funded. A number of radical Democrats are calling for closure of ICE, which is operated without opposition in most states except for Minnesota and Oregon. Authorities in Tucson, Arizona continue the search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, mother of NBC TV host Savannah Guthrie. The elderly woman was kidnapped from her home Saturday evening and has not been seen since. There is a report that a supposed ransom note has surfaced. President Trump said he was reaching out to daughter Savannah to offer federal assistance. And in sports, Bradley defeated Valpo at the Civic Center last night, 72-65, in a game that was closer than it should have been. And those are the headlines.
Well, we appreciated Dr. Gene Sidler's analysis of why it was close. Nothing close about the weather, and the weather this morning is brought to you as a service of Morton Community Banks. Over 50 branches now across central and northwestern Illinois, offering a full range of personal and business banking services. Hometown banks, FDIC insured, so your deposits are safe. Look for the clock tower, and you'll know they have time for you. And we have time for Dave.
We do, and to add today's quiz, what goes up but also comes down, and that would be the temperature today. It's going up right now. It's mostly sunny today, a high of 29. Tonight's going to be cloudy and cold for the down part of it, 16 degrees, and we do a nice little job of bouncing back up tomorrow, cloudy and 36. Friday, even better, high of 44, and then Saturday our winning ways continue, sunny and 36, and currently we are up to 15 balmy degrees.
I'll take your word for it. Well, now, here's our balmy pet tip of the day.
Today's pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little-known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. Antifreeze is the absolute toxin for all pets, and it's a concern year-round. Antifreeze is an important additive for all vehicles, but it is a highly toxic element for animals. Ingesting even a small amount of antifreeze can be fatal. It is even more dangerous because most antifreeze has a sweet taste, which attracts cats and dogs. 1 teaspoon can be fatal to a 10-pound cat, and 1 tablespoon can be fatal to a 10-pound dog. When adding the solution to vehicles, be careful that none is spilled or left where pets will have easy access. Never let your pet run unattended at your local garage or oil change station. and keep an eye out for it in parking lots. Cars often leak antifreeze when parked, and if you are walking your dog across the lot to a dog relief area, getting this on their feet is deadly because they will lick their feet to clean. I have seen antifreeze in parking lots when we are out for the day running errands with my dogs. My dogs come along for the errands knowing that we will walk them at a local park as a treat on the way home. But during the course of the errands, they need a potty break, and, well, there you have it. I once was parked next to a car that had leaked its entire radiator of antifreeze, and I had to get into my car very carefully to avoid tracking it in on my shoes. Had I not been paying attention, it could have been disastrous. So keep your eyes open. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's Pet Tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Speaking of dogs, one of my favorite Royce Elliott jokes is about guys walking down the street, and the guy's walking a dog in his direction, and he stops and says, "Does your dog bite?" And he said, "No, he doesn't." And the dog bit him. I thought you said your dog doesn't bite. He said he doesn't. This is not my dog.
That's, remember the Pink Panther movie, Peter Sellers?
Yeah,
Does your
that
dog bite?
was. You're right.
It's
That's
not my dog.
Yeah. He was so good.
He was. That's a great line.
And everything he did was Inspector Clouseau.
Cato. And he'd always attack him. From
Was he married to my Brit? He was married to a blonde.
Britt Eklund, wasn't it?
Was
Britt,
it?
is that the name or something? She's an actress.
Britt Eklund,
or something
or
like that,
my Brit, or I know
those
she
Pink
was a
Panther
blonde.
movies should be required viewing. Those were classics.
Yeah, they are.
Play that before you do the weather, like
Yeah.
he goes, "Lovely weather we are having today.
Yeah.
I hope the weather continues."
Yeah.
And then our new lead-in. Yep.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right, let's have our morning quiz. We have a few minutes left to the end of our program, and this esteemed panel that did so well on the quiz at 6:30 or almost 7 o'clock. What primetime soap opera began running twice a week in September 1964?
Cheers.
Days of Our Lives. As the World Turns.
No.
General Hospital.
No.
You said prime time.
Pardon? Prime time. Prime time. Mm-hmm.
Those are my
7.
What was yours?
Peyton Place.
Peyton Place.
There
is
you go.
correct.
There you go. I had to go on my Rolodex of
Who were
shows.
the actors and
Ryan
actresses?
O'Neal, that's where he got his
Yeah.
big start.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Ryan O'Neal.
Really?
I don't know
Okay.
who
Who was the gal? There was a. I want to say Susan James, but I don't think that's right. No. Well, it isn't important. Let's go on. What movie featured an exotic vacation resort named Delos?
A movie?
A movie?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Old or
Yeah,
new?
what
Current?
movie?
Old? How old?
This is baby
I don't
boomers,
know.
so- Oh, gee.
This is kind of a. I think this is a hard question.
Flying down to Rio.
It's one word, although it's two words together.
Okay.
You all have a confused look. Westworld. Does that ring a bell?
Would never
It
have guessed
didn't.
Yeah,
no.
Yul Brynner, and it was robots.
Oh,
Western.
wow.
What? Let's see. Oh, I don't like that one. Let's go on to the next question. What chic young comic strip couple was married in 1933?
Dagwood and Blondie.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Nice going. And then you'll get this one. Which of the Beach Boys put up the Manson family at the Los Angeles apartment a year before the Tate LaBianca murders?
Brian Wilson.
That would be my guess. But
You have one name right, but not the first one.
Dennis Wilson.
Dennis Wilson.
I remember seeing
Who
that.
was Dennis Wilson?
One of the
Beach Boys.
One of the Beach Boys? Okay. I know Brian was, but what was Elton John's first top hit, which he sang on The Tonight Show?
Okay, there's Tiny Dancer. There's
That's not correct.
Okay.
I don't know what his first hit was.
Yes.
Rocket Man?
No.
Could be right. Okay, it's not that one.
Two words.
I'm thinking.
Crocodile Rock?
No.
It's the other one, like one of the other first ones.
No, Philadelphia Freedom. That came later.
The initials are Y for the first word, S for the second word.
That's not Saturday.
Go with the S. What in music? What would you immediately think about? What in the music world, the most common word with
Song.
S? Correct.
Your song?
Your song. Very good. You did good, kid.
You're kidding me.
You did good. What city was serviced by the TV show M Squad?
Los Angeles.
Incorrect.
Oh.
Wow.
San Diego.
Yeah, that's incorrect.
New York.
That one is incorrect.
Can you
But
give us some clues?
keep naming the major cities and you'll get it because it's a major
Boston.
city. Incorrect.
Philadelphia.
You're in the wrong part of the country.
Oh, so I got to get on a
Okay, so
plane.
West Coast?
What?
West Coast.
West Coast?
No.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Midwest.
Yes.
Okay, Chicago.
Yes.
Okay, we took a nice little flight today.
Who finally gained stardom after being the only soul singer to appear at the 1967 Monterey Pop Festival?
Jimi Hendrix.
No.
Oh, this is a soul singer. Oh.
Aretha Franklin?
Yeah.
Wait.
What'd you say?
Aretha Franklin?
What's the question again?
It's a guy. Who finally gained stardom after being the only soul singer to appear at the
James Brown?
1967 Monterey Pop Festival?
Not
No,
James Brown.
Not
Okay.
James Brown.
Not Jimi Hendrix. Not okay. So
I will give you the initials since you're struggling a little bit. O.R.
Otis Redding.
Otis Redding is correct.
Oh,
Very
got to
good.
that one.
Well, whose birth in 1960 marked the first time since 1857 that a reigning British monarch had given birth?
Oh.
Prince Andrew?
Prince Andrew is correct.
Hey.
What publication declared in its first issue, "We're not just about music, but also about the things and attitudes music embraces"?
Rolling Stone.
Every Rolling Stone.
Oh boy, you guys got they didn't
Who
even
is
hesitate
Rolling
then.
Stone? Or what?
What war prompted GIs to don buttons reading "Ambushed at Credibility Gap"? I never heard this one. This
No,
is
that's
totally
Vietnam
foreign.
War?
Vietnam War is
Oh.
correct.
There
interesting.
you go.
How many children did Hickory Hollow's tramp have?
7.
Incorrect.
Hickory
12.
Hollow. What's that from?
Incorrect. I don't know. I never heard of it.
Maybe Little Abner? 3?
Too low.
8. I don't know.
Too low.
12.
Too low.
15.
Too high.
14.
Yes.
There we go.
We're just gonna guess numbers.
Get there.
Just
Here's one that I would get, probably the only one.
Okay.
Who was Mary Berry's absent-minded town barber? Full name.
Floyd. Floyd
is right.
The barber, Floyd.
Yeah,
I
Floyd
know
the
his last
barber.
name. Floyd the barber is all I know.
No, he had a last name.
Johnson.
Well, you're close.
Jackson.
You're close too.
Jones.
You're not so close.
Jackson and Johnson.
So,
So,
son was the last part. What's the first part? Starts with the letter L.
Larson?
Lawson.
Lawson.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Lawson.
Okay, all right.
Larson is the former weather guy
Yes.
and news guy on WMBD.
Yeah.
What principal appeared in both the stage and screen productions of Cabaret?
Liza Minnelli.
No.
Oh, that's what I would have guessed.
Male?
Michael York.
No.
Joel Gray.
Joel Gray is correct. You know, I can tell when you know the answer because you say it with, you get a big grin on your face. I know what
And she
that
holds up
is.
the floor, too. Yeah.
What major international news event received blow-by-blow coverage by all three U.S. networks June 2nd, 1953?
Coronation of Queen Elizabeth.
That is correct. You guys are amazing. Who authored Esquire's piece about LSD titled Turning on the World?
Timothy Leary.
Yes, a bad guy. How many 3D views on a Viewmaster reel? What a question that is.
12.
No,
I have no idea.
13?
no, too high.
7.
of you-
8.
What'd you say?
7.
7 is correct.
There you go.
What group backed up Kenny Rogers on Ruby?
The first edition.
Yeah.
The what?
The first
That's
The
edition.
first
I was going to say
edition.
new
Yeah,
edition,
there
but
you
that's
go.
completely.
Yeah, well, that was close.
Yeah.
Who played arch villain Egghead on Batman?
What?
Vincent Price.
Vincent Price is
Okay.
correct. For $50 on category 5. What bespectacled British-born film star noted, "I'm sort of a boy next door if that boy has a good script writer"?
Peter Sellers.
No. Was Peter Sellers English?
Yeah,
He
he was.
was okay.
So
But
this
the
is a
answer, no.
British actor. that-
Yes. Very popular.
What time frame?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say 70s.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that, but
what's,
I'm guessing.
Michael.
You got it?
Michael Caine.
Michael
Michael
Caine. That's
Caine.
what I was trying
Oh
to
my
remember his
gosh,
last name. I
really?
can picture him saying it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
What country tested a nuclear device at Reagan in the Sahara, January 13th, 1960? Ooh, I didn't know this. Not that I knew any of the questions I'm asking, but certainly this is a surprise.
India.
India is incorrect.
Russia.
Incorrect.
China.
Incorrect.
So, what country tested a nuclear bomb in the Sahara Desert?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Libya? I don't know.
I'll help you out. You're in the wrong part of the world.
Oh, okay.
Europe.
Germany.
No.
Spain?
No. What's in between?
France.
Yes.
Yeah, France did it, huh?
We're close to it.
Oh.
Poop, I should.
Who chronicled a mammoth anti-war march on the Pentagon in The Armies of the Night?
Is this an author who wrote a book?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, who's
I don't know. Yeah. I'm going to. Can we phone a friend?
Okay, he was married, I believe, to Marilyn Monroe.
Joe DiMaggio?
No. Arthur Miller.
Arthur Miller, that's right.
Arthur Miller. I don't know.
No.
Do I get half a bell?
No.
Because it was very
No,
demanding.
it wasn't Arthur.
Oh.
Oh.
So I may have thrown you off. You were close.
Was she married the playwright? I thought
Don't take that clue. I think was incorrect.
So his name's Arthur?
No.
Okay.
His first name starts with N.
N.
And
Nolan Miller.
there was what'd you say?
Nolan Miller.
No, Miller is incorrect.
Is the first name Niles? Just like
No.
Niles.
His first name's the last name of a golfer, a very popular.
Nicholas.
Nelson?
His first name was
Nicholson.
Greg.
Nelson Mailer. Oh, no.
You're close. Norman Mailer.
Norman.
Norman
great.
Mailer, yeah. He wasn't married to Marilyn Monroe, was he? No. Well, chalk that up as there by the. What author was found by psychiatrists to be homicidal and suicidal after his wife was critically stabbed?
J.D. Salinger?
No.
How famous is this author?
Very famous.
Very famous. Okay.
Matter of fact, we've already used his name as
Francis.
the answers to a previous question.
Scott Key.
Norman Mailer?
That is correct.
Norman Mailer. There you go.
Who won 5 Grammys March 2nd, 1974 for his album Inner Visions? Inner Visions.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm going 74. James Taylor.
Oh, James Taylor.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we in the right?
Well
genre?
known. Well known.
Well known.
74 Grammys, correct?
4 of them.
1974, he won 4 Grammys.
Five Grammys in 1974.
Uh,
And I said for his, and so that's why you said for his album Inner Visions. Initials, SW.
Stephen Wright?
Steve is right for the first name.
Steve Winwood.
And you're on the right track.
Okay.
It's a W for the last name.
Okay. So Steve, we got a Steve.
Steve.
Steve Miller, Steve Winwood.
Stevie Wonder?
Stevie Wonder. Very good.
Oh,
Nice.
goodness.
That was very good.
Yeah.
All right, our last question. Who was the first moderator and host of the CBS documentary series See It Now?
Edward R. Murrow?
Edward R. Murrow is correct. The panel was truly, ladies and gentlemen, outstanding.
They are our cuddlers and coworkers, purr machines and love bugs,
thought they were
and
talking about
constant
you guys.
companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life so much better. When we face unexpected challenges in life, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people who love their pets, and the pets who love their people, ensuring these families stay exactly where they belong, together. And you have something to offer. With an open heart and mind, there is nothing you can't do. There's no gesture too small or too big when it comes to helping. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. You can help keep pets and people together. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
And we're up to 15 degrees, and we're going to get up to, around 29, 30 degrees? What's the scoop there,
Well,
Dave, if you would?
We are, and we're well on our way to a nice-looking day, and that's a poet in me. Today,
good.
mostly sunny, a high of 29 balmy degrees. Tonight, cloudy and cold, a low of 16. Tomorrow, we're jumping up to 36 degrees under some cloudy skies. Friday, the clouds go away, the sun shines as you celebrate the end of your work week, and a high of 44 degrees. You do have to go to work, though. We're not calling you in. Saturday, sunny and 36, and currently, we're up to 15 degrees.
Yeah. You remember the song, your song, you remember what, by Elton John? You remember what year it was?
This feeling inside, I'm not one of those who can.
In the 70s. It was in the 70s.
I don't know much
Say that again. 1977?
Yeah.
Too
Oh,
high.
if I did.
Oh, when this song was released?
You know,
71.
1971, right. What was your favorite Elton John song?
I love Crocodile Rock.
Mhm.
If I was a sculptor.
How about you?
I don't have one.
You don't like Elton John?
I like him, I just don't have it.
Well, you don't have to get healthy about it. I like him, but I don't like any of his songs.
I mean, I don't have enough.
What's your favorite?
Probably this one, or Tiny Dancer, or Rocket Man, or
yeah.
There's a lot of them.
I like the one from the Lion King.
Oh,
can't you see?
The love. Can't you see the love tonight?
No, the other one.
Circle of Life.
Circle of Life.
Circle of Life. Yeah.
Well, we're circling the wagons. It's all over for this Wednesday morning. Tomorrow we'll welcome us with Steve, Mike and Tino, and Dr. Gene Sidler, or also Stevie Wonder, and a few others. Thanks, Dave. Thank you, Dave, and thank you, Tyrus. And we'll leave it up to the one and only Elton John. Remember, God loves you, and so do we.
I sat on the roof and kicked off the moss. Well, a few of the verses, well, they've got me quite cross. But the sun's been quite kind while I wrote their song.